Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Horsin
Hello.
Around. Oh, uh,
Oh boy.
I'm your lovely co-host. I'm your lovely what?
That's right.
It's your.
It's my podcast now, motherfucker.
I didn't sleep last night. Hi, I'm your host, Pearl. This is my lovely co-host.
Hi, it's V. I got super distracted right before the fucking stream started, so I'm super out of whack. Best pony today is Calamity.
Calamity?
Calamity, yeah. We said it at the same time. Well, we came to the same conclusion at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Calamity. He's always the best. He's the best.
Oh, in case you didn't know, today we are covering the first 12 chapters of Fallout Equestria and an extended fandom segment.
Oh boy. This is gonna take forever. I tell you that for frickin' free.
So last night and this morning, both V and I we went through 6 months
Oh,
of 6 fucking months of Equestria Daily.
yeah, man, we shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have tried to do that in one sitting. I got done like fucking half an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we were late to stream. Well, I was late to stream, but like that's part of why. It's because it took me way longer than I thought it was gonna do. So we have a lot of that to talk about, and we have all of well, we had the first arc of Fallout Equestria, which I didn't take any notes on this time, because
Just
I listened to
off
it
the top of
all.
your brain dome.
Yeah, well, I listened to Fallout Equestria. I listened to the audio, the newest version of the audio like book.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the first. I think I listened to the first 14 chapters. I think I'm like on chapter 14 right now. I
Mm-hmm.
listened to it when we intended to talk about the entire book all at once.
And then we realized we couldn't.
And we realized that that was way too much to talk about. And also, even if I still didn't take any notes because I was like playing games and stuff while I was listening to it because it's like an audiobook. So I didn't like take any notes. But so this one's just gonna be off the dome for me. You took notes, right?
I took notes.
You actually read like the actual written word, right? This
Yes,
time.
I did. I've been reading through it.
This is, I mean, for both of us, I mean, much the same as mostly all of My Little Pony. This is not new to either of us, right? This is
No.
probably maybe the fourth time I've probably read Fallout Equestria in my life.
We both read this back in 2011 when it came out.
Back in, yeah, it was 2000. When was it posted on FimFiction? Because I read it on FimFiction.
Fanfiction, it was
2012?
posted around 2012-ish, I believe. Let me double
Yeah,
check.
so I read it 2012, like after it was all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only like new thing that like happened around when I read it was the like the epilogue, or like the like end. There's like a little end part from K-Cat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The afterword. That's what it's. Yeah, the afterword I think was written after that, because there's the epilogue and then there's an afterword also. There's 45 chapters. Technically, there's like 49 chapters, 45, 6, 7, it's 48 chapters, including there's 45 numbered chapters plus the prologue, the epilogue, and the afterword, and a secret chapter that has sex in it.
Yes, the secret lesbian sex chapter.
The secret lesbian sex chapter.
We're not there
which is
yet.
Like 20 something and a half, 23 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
20. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Today we're like talking about what we've basically agreed upon is the first story arc of Fallout Equestria. Maybe the first two arcs, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, kind of the first two arcs. Before we begin,
You're almost.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No,
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. This was your idea. I want like your thoughts on Fallout Equestria and how you feel about it.
I love Fallout Equestria. This was my idea. I love Fallout Equestria. I unironically think that it's a very good story. Like, I don't like. Okay, I think that you could say easily like if you like deponified Fallout Equestria, it would still be a pretty good story. Probably, yeah. I mean, like it would be. You would have to ignore also that like it does also borrow a lot of like plot details from Fallout, especially like Fallout like what's ultimately like going on in like the later chapters is basically just a straight rip of Fallout 1.
It's yeah.
in terms of like the actual mechanical plot about like what's actually like moving the world forward is just a straight rip. I mean, the goddesses, alicorns is what they call them, right? In this,
Hmm.
the alicorns, is that what we call them?
They
Do we
call
call
them
them
goddesses
alicorns?
early on, then we find out they're alicorns.
Right. And then we decide that the official name for them is alicorns, which I technically predates the use of the term in the. Do they usually use that term in the show?
I believe they used
Alicorn?
alicorn in
I don't
season
think they
one.
use that term in the show at all. Like, I don't think they ever refer to them as alicorns. But that was, of course, the an alicorn, of course, is a winged unicorn, and so that's what we call Celestia and Luna and the goddess clones. I can't say that. These characters. Well, I have to try really hard not to spoil stuff later in the book, because I know that some people here have not read, like, are like reading along or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, with the alicorns, what's going on with them ultimately is just a straight rip of stuff that happens in Fallout One. But like the context surrounding it, I think like makes it more than the sum of its parts. Um, and I think the context of My Little Pony in terms of like what you would know about My Little Pony, like when this is written, like does help also. Like having the sort of backstory being like the main six and stuff is like kind
We
of
are
gives you like
slandering the main six in this story.
we are slandering the shit out of the main six in this story for sure, yeah. But it gives you like an additional contextual reason to care about these characters.
Hmm.
Like in Fallout, like the real Fallout games, you usually don't really have any reason to treat character like I mean, there's no like extended flashback sequences like there are in Fallout Equestria, which we'll get to that later. Is a really really good plot device. The memory orbs, super good plot device, like really genius shit. Um, but like in the Fallout or whatever like that, like you have no reason to care about characters who were alive in the past, and other than maybe just general disdain for the fact that they destroyed the world. But when those characters are like Twilight Sparkle and Pinkie Pie, you kind of get a more of a sort of a mixed feeling about it because it's like, well, these are characters that I like, but they're doing things that are bad.
They're going down a very dark path, which leads to the setting of Fallout Equestria.
Yeah, right. It's very fucked up, right? And I think that I think that KCat like is very smart in like by the time is it in the first 12 chapters? I think it's right. No, it's like right where that stops. I think chapter 13 is the first time that Little Pip uses a memory orb. I think it's the first time that Little Pip uses a memory orb, period, actually. So maybe we can't talk too much about that. But like that going forward is kind of where like you start getting more information about like what happened during the war, the main six, like kind of where they were at. Until then, it's really bit and pieces.
Like she was
Basically,
she
the
she
most
was
that you,
weaving of what happened throughout the
yeah,
narrative.
basically the most that you get, like in the first arc of the book, is like the Cutie Mark Crusaders, basically, like a lot of like Scootaloo and a little bit of Sweetie Belle
Hmm.
stuff. Actually, Sweetie Belle's pretty important here. Actually, all things considered, she's
Yeah.
pretty fucking important, right? I don't doesn't mention Apple Bloom that much though, does it? Now that I'm
Not
thinking
yet.
about it,
Not
not a
yet.
lot of Apple Bloom. She'll be important later, obviously. Yeah, I love this story. I've always loved this story. I think it is worth. I think it's more than worth the paper it's printed on. I think it's a very good story. I think there's a good reason why it's like one of the most like famous stories of like My Little Pony fandom. I think if you're able to like get past your like cringe, it's not even like the story's not bad. Like the writing is very good. I think if you're able to get past the like sort of mental barrier of thinking that this is a silly idea, it's like a really legitimately good story to tell. You know?
I will not be judging the story how it's written, because obviously it's a fanfic that KCat wrote in under a year, 600,000 words. You're an insane person, KCat.
You're an insane person.
But I think it's a great story too. It is a work of the heart. It is a dedication to the piece of media that you love.
Yeah.
I will
think it's
say
worth it.
KCat really loves the word knickered.
She sure fucking does. You know, I think it's well written for what it is. It's not like the most masterfully written thing anywhere, but I think that Kit Kat is a very good like wordsmith. I think she's able to paint the picture pretty
She
well for the most
really
part.
loves the word knickered because it's another word for Winnie.
You really get into Little Pip's fucking head in this shit, man. I mean, the whole story is from her perspective, but you really get in that hoe's head in this shit. She be saying crazy shit.
She does just say crazy shit.
She be saying crazy shit all the time. It took her like 20 minutes of being outside to be like, this is fucked up.
This is fucked up.
This is fucked up.
Do you want to
She's
start?
like,
Go ahead.
she kills like 20 people, and then like 3 days later, she's like, that was fucked up.
Yeah, let's start.
She
From
stops like, I've already stopped thinking. There's like a part, I think it's in this in these chapters. She's like, I've already kind of just stopped rationalizing the murders at this point, and that's kind of fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to? Yeah, she's like, there's like a part where Velvet Remedy is it's probably one of the times where she's waxing about how she's a pacifist or whatever, and Little Pip's like, yeah, I don't really do that shit.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I've kind of made peace with it, which is kind of bad, but you know, otherwise I would have died already. So like,
You know,
fucking whatever, right? Like, I figured out how a gun works pretty fucking fast. I'll tell you that, brother.
let's start with the prologue. Of course, the prologue is being spoken by Little Pip. There's a lot of unicorn propaganda just in the prologue.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Well, actually, before we hit the prologue, we should probably hit the introduction, which I neglected to mention, which is basically just a combination of like the opening crawl of the My Little Pony television show and the like War Never Changes speech in Fallout 3.
War never changes.
Essentially, essentially the skinny here is that the magical nation of Equestria, the peaceful and beautiful nation of Equestria, started a resource war with the Zebra Nation, which goes unnamed
Because there's no official name.
Well, I mean, she could have made up a name. I think it's pointed that like we don't learn a whole lot about the zebras until we do like later, but even then, like we don't learn a lot. And it's the same kind of way that like in the Fallout games, like you just inherently don't ever get like the Chinese perspective of the war, being that was the nation that the United States was at war
It's
with during-
always from America's perspective.
Because why would you you in America or you in Equestria, why would there be any like documentation of the zebras' perspective of the war? They're the enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't care what they think, right? So the land of Equestria went to a resource war with the Zebra Empire. Over what resource, I don't really remember. Is that stated, or
Maybe
is it
we'll
just
find
like
out later
implied?
on.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was a prolonged war. Eventually, some psycho invented magic nukes. Basically, I think the I think the Zebras invented that first. Right?
We know who invented it later on, but
Yeah, I can't remember that well, like the later stuff. Which is
but
fine.
yeah,
So
they
little, like,
invented
spoilers
a
done.
nuclear bomb called a mega spell.
Called a mega spell, which comes in several forms. Some of them are literal bombs. Some of them are missiles. I think they imply in these chapters that it's like a mix of zebra like magic and pony magic or something like that, or like there's different versions of it. Some of them are zebra magic, some of them are pony magic.
Yes.
Because we sort of, in order to make this sort of scenario work, we've sort of extrapolated out that zebras have their own kind of magic.
Which is pretty canonical in show that they work with alchemy mostly.
Yeah, that's more so what it's implied to be based off of, like, because like at the time that this was written, remember this only season 1 had aired, or maybe it wasn't even done airing yet, so the only context we had for zebras was just Sakura, which is probably why we chose zebras to be like the stand-in for the Chinese in this race, over like griffins or like dragons or shit like that. Also probably because the Talon Company pun was way too good to pass up for the griffins.
The Talon Company pun was way too easy to pass up.
Way too good to pass that up, right? Yeah. So, and so much like in the continuity of Fallout, giant underground vaults are constructed in case of the worst case scenario. Except they're called stables here. It's called Stable Tech instead of Vault Tech. That's cute, I guess. And of course, as you might expect, eventually the worst does come to pass. Nuclear Armageddon is unleashed upon land, and the only survivors, well, not really, but survivors feed into these enormous underground vaults. And does it give the narrative that Stable 2 was never supposed to open, or just that it didn't open yet? I don't really think they clarify that exactly, if it was like a Vault 101 situation, or like it just never opened because
It just hadn't
wasn't,
opened
like,
yet.
they just didn't want to. Yeah, like, yeah, because they don't really make a big, no, they do kind of make a big deal about it, because Velvet Remedy like leaves the vault. Like, nobody's ever left the vault before, the stable before, so I guess it's like whatever. Stable 2 is kind of like a mix between like Vault 3, or excuse me, Vault 13 and Vault 101, in terms of like its narrative purpose, in terms of like where you're drawing from the Fallout games and shit. But it's like its own, it's also kind of its own thing. They don't, I believe Vault, excuse me, I'm gonna keep fucking this up. I believe Stable 2 was a control stable.
It's not
And that it
supposed to
wasn't
be an
subject to
experiment. It's just, the populace stays alive for how long.
Yeah, it was a control stable. Like, well, like Vault 13 was a control vault, I believe, as well. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. So the worst comes to pass. 2 centuries later, some little dipshit is born.
And that little dipshit, we call her Little Pip.
We call her Little Pip because she's short.
She is
And
her defined character traits. 1, she's really short. 2, she is the gayest little horse on earth.
She is gay. They do. K-Cat does make that.
Makes that
Within
explicitly
what, 5
clear.
pages? Like within the first couple of paragraphs, do we make it clear that Lil Pip is gay?
They make it
Which is
explicitly
awesome.
clear that she's gay.
Which is awesome, by the way. I love it. I love that Lil Pip is explicitly gay. It's actually a major part of her character arc, like, and her, like, the storyline evolves in that to some extent, that she's a lesbian. Like, it's important. It's important several times in the story.
It literally pushes her for the call to adventure, being a little lesbian.
That too, but it also, like, I don't want to talk spoilers too much, but there's that thing with her and Velvet Remedy later that's only, like, feasible because she's gay. And because she likes Velvet Remedy. And then there's the stuff later with the Temponi Tower and everything. That's the next arc. But, like, this is relevant multiple times in the story. Like, it is an important defining character trait for Little Pip that she's a homosexual. And that Calamity isn't. Well, they both like women. That's why they get along so well.
It's just a lesbian and her himbo against the world.
I love it. When it's just, like, not that I don't like Velvet Remedy or anything, but when it's just her and him, it's so fucking funny. They're so dumb.
That's because Calamity is her go-to companion.
I mean, yeah, the Calamity is, for all intents and purposes, her best friend.
Calamity is fucking Rose of Sharon Cassidy from Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, and also some other crazy stuff that we can't talk about right now. No, he does. Does he talk about? No, he does talk about how he was kicked out of. Does he say the name of it? Is that a spoiler if I just say it's the Enclave? Like, I don't think that matters.
I think we find it out like the second arc, don't we?
I think he already talks about it.
Anyway, the Pegasi are the Enclave stand-in.
Yeah, the Pegasi. He explains. We'll get to this in, like, whatever chapter that becomes relevant. Oh, that's chapter 9 that he talks about this. Yeah. I'm, like, looking at, like, a summary, like a very brief summary of the events of the chapters. It's chapter 9 that he starts talking about the Enclave, the Grand Pegasus Enclave, and that he's a Dashite and everything like that. We'll get to that. He is, for all intents and purposes, Little Pip's very best friend in the whole world, and only friend.
Velvet Remedy hates her this first arc.
She does. She's super fucking mad at her until she, like, almost dies, and then she chills out on her.
Velvet's just a bitch this whole entire first arc. And
it's funny. It's really
Little
awesome.
Pip is like, "You're so pretty, ma'am. Hello."
Is that bit in well, we'll get to it. There's that bit later with Velvet when she's, like, having a goddamn crisis of faith. She's like, Velvet Remedy couldn't have done something bad. But what if she did? No. She couldn't possibly. It was like,
nah.
So, right. So prologue lays out. So the introduction lays out the general landscape of like what happened. Right. The prologue basically gives us a heads up on like all the technical details you need to know to understand the story. What a pit buck is. What a vault. Excuse me, what a stable is. That nobody leaves these stables. That little Pip is kind of a loser.
No
Kind
one
of.
likes her.
That little Pip is a huge loser.
Everyone is mean to her. They don't like her.
She's a huge loser because she's gay.
You know what? That's probably why.
That's probably why. She's a loser and everybody hates her. She's a stable tech vault. What is she? A stable technician?
Yeah, her talent
Apprentice?
is specifically repairing pit bucks.
Well,
And
that's
that leads to her being very, very good at lockpicking.
yeah. So she's just sort of an all-around sort of technician. She tagged lockpick and like
Yes.
science is her skills. Like she's like science, like tag like lockpick, science, and like repair maybe. Actually, she's not really good at the repair stuff. Maybe she's like small
She's
guns.
she is good at gun. She tagged the gun skill. She tagged science and she tagged lockpicking.
She specifically mentions in this chapter, I think, that she's got good at lockpick because her drunk bum fucking like teacher is a drunk bum and like kept locking them out of the office or whatever, out of like the repair bay. So she had to learn how to pick locks to get through that shit. And she expresses a lot of disdain that her cutie mark is a pit buck because in the stables you only get your pit buck when you get your cutie mark. And so she got her cutie mark of the thing you get when you get your cutie mark, which she couldn't have got because it's the thing you only get when you get your cutie mark. So how the fuck was I supposed to get my cutie mark? Fucking Jesus.
It's really fucking funny. Like, wow,
also
I can't wait to see where my cutie mark is. Oh,
Also,
sure.
she mentions that the only magic she could do is telekinesis.
She's also very, very good at telekinesis.
She doesn't really know that yet, but yeah, that's telekinesis is sort of her special thing. Like, because we're running off of this implication from season one, which we also pointed out, like while we were watching season one, which is that like every unicorn has like one specific. Actually, this is an implication. Spike literally says this out loud in Ghostbusters that every unicorn has one specific type of magic that they're good at. The Twilight Sparkle, who is good at all magic, can do a bunch of stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And so that holds true here. So every unicorn has like maybe a small selection of spells they're capable of performing. Little Pip can't do any shit ever except telekinesis, which every fucking buddy else can already do. So she feels kind of like a loser because she is.
I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, they really lay it in here. They really fucking run it up in here on her in this first couple of chapters.
She's just a fucking dork.
She's just a dork. She's a loser. She has no friend. I mean, she literally has no friends. She doesn't talk to anybody. She lives alone. Like, well, I guess is her mother still alive? I don't remember. Is that relevant later?
Her mother is still alive. It's just that she lives alone in the vault because, you know,
Yeah, right.
they gave her her own room
like-
when she hit of age.
Her mother's also a drunk.
Yeah.
So I think that comes back around later. I'm sure it does.
Oh, it definitely comes back around with her having an addictive personality.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, but I meant like the characters specifically, like when we have like later stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So then chapter 1 is basically just the rundown of all that stuff. Velvet Remedy's introduced in this chapter, who is sort of the like most popular person in the stable. She's a singer.
Yeah,
and
compared to Pip, she is tall, elegant, graceful. All Little Pip's words, by the way.
She's apparently very beautiful. Yeah, so she says. Well, just jumping the spoiler a bit, she is a descendant of Sweetie Belle.
Yes.
It's not
Velvet
really
is a
spoiler
descendant
'cause
of Sweetie Belle.
We learned that pretty quick, but she's a direct descendant of Sweetie Belle, who was the original overmare, just their term for overseer, of Vault 2, which we later learn is on Sweet Apple Acres property, which is crazy. Oh, I just remembered another crazy spoiler. It doesn't matter. About
Do you
fucking
think
steel hooves, but that's super not relevant right now.
Yeah, that's later. I'm just imagining Applejack and like fucking Granny Smith just sleeping in their house while the vault's being built with their pillows
Yeah,
over their
it's just.
head.
Can we be fucking serious here? Like y'all, this shit on my property.
Can y'all
I
like
think
speed it up already?
Yeah, I think Apple Bloom let them do that, right? I think that was Apple
Yeah.
Bloom's call. Yeah. So we introduced Velvet Remedy, who again is extremely beautiful. Um, she does have a canonical design. I don't really remember what her main looks like.
She is described as dark fur with a white and gold mane.
Right. Yeah. Um, Little Pip is gray with a brown mane, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, that. Like these characters have canonical like representations for the most part. Um, and so we meet Velvet Remedy, and she asks Little Pip to remove her pit buck because I guess you can't remove it on your own.
I mean that's canonical in Fallout. Like
Is it?
you
Oh,
need
you need like special tools to. That seems fucked up.
you need special tools. It is stuck to your arm without the special tools.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I take that shit. How do I like? That doesn't matter. I don't know if that's canonical anymore because I definitely in the Fallout TV show they just be taking that shit off all the time.
Really?
Yeah, they just be taking that shit off. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They just be taking that shit off. So I don't think that's canon anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Yes, she gets a little bit to take it off because she complains about the padding or shit like that.
It was chafing her specifically.
Yes. So Little Pip, who is of course starstruck and gay, does so without question and leaves her. She leaves her there. She says, "Oh, I'll have it, back to you by there's like a concert like tomorrow night or whatever. I'll have it back to you by then." And that puts her in a pretty good mood, right, for the rest of the day. She does the job, does everything. It's like the next day or the next morning or whatever, and she's going to Velvet Remedy's room to like deliver it to her. And there's a big fucking crowd there, and she finds out that Velvet Remedy left the vault, the stable, I mean,
because they can't track her without her pit buck.
And the overbearer is like, "Don't worry, guys, we'll just track her with her pit buck." And Little Pip's like, "Oh,
oh
fuck."
As she looks out, as she's holding it right now.
Yeah, she like looks down and just like sitting there, like she's like levitating. She's like, "Fuck, God,
Fuck, I'm holding it."
shit, fuck." And the overmare is like, "You need to get out of here before these people beat you to death with their bare hooves.
They're gonna kill you, Little Pip. They're gonna crucify you.
You need to get the hell out of here." Little Pip goes back to her room, and she starts digging through Velvet Remedy's pit buck. Just because. And she finds, it's like an audio tape, right? She finds an audio tape of the password to open the stable door.
It was specifically fucking Rarity saying the password, right?
Was it? I thought it was one of the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
She said it was someone who had an accent, and I thought that meant Rarity.
Oh, it might be Sweetie Belle. Oh no, it was probably Apple Bloom, wasn't it?
You know what? It was probably Apple Bloom.
No, it was Apple Bloom because later when she hears a recording of Applejack, she comments that the voice sounds similar but not quite the same.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Apple Bloom's voice.
Which is really funny. No one in the stable has the fucking accent.
Nobody in the stable has the accent. I don't think there's any apples. There were apples in the stable, weren't there? Isn't that? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't think any apples made into the stable.
It's been 200 years, so
yeah.
Who knows, right? The password for the door was like CMC Forever or some shit like that. Like, it's some little heartstring thing with Cutie Mark Crusaders. Which doesn't mean anything to her, of course, but it means. That's the other thing is like some of this stuff doesn't mean anything to Little Pip, but she's not capable of understanding it because she doesn't have the context. But you as the reader is like, I
fuck.
get it. Yeah, fuck, right? Yeah. And so she decides, well, if I stay here, I'm probably going to die.
They're going to kill me.
I mean, my life sucked already, but this is going to be way worse. So I am going to also go outside. I'm going to leave. I am going to
find Velvet Remedy. She is going to kiss me on the mouth for saving her. Then we go back to the vault.
And we go back to the vault. Yeah, I think there's also a note on Velvet Remedy's pit buck that for like her own voice that explicitly says, "Do not fucking come after me. I do
Yes.
not want to come back. Do not come outside and come get me." And Little Pip says, "Well, she probably didn't mean that.
She probably didn't mean that.
Probably didn't mean that, right?" So she does that. She goes out. Uh,
She
as
knocks
she
out
goes
2
out,
guards.
she is stopped by 2 guards, and she does commit her first ever act of violence by picking up a locker with telekinesis and giving them both concussions with it.
Slamming them on top of their fucking heads.
Commits her very first act of violence all too easily because she's just a violent person. I
And
think.
that's every Fallout main character. They have it. They have it. It's just built into them. And the overseer saw it.
You put a gun in their hand, and you just immediately start shooting people in Fallout 3, like not even thinking about it.
Yep.
You know, how people use it for self-defense. First thing you see, just a pa, 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 pa.
I'm glad we got that psychopath out of here.
Yeah, that guy was fucked up. Yeah, it's like in Fallout 3, like you're like, well, you come back to the vault and they're like, we're not gonna listen to you because you killed the last guy you killed the last guy who fucking disagreed with you. Actually, you killed a lot of people. I did do that.
I did do
True.
that. My bad.
True, yeah, we did. Little Pip did manage to get out without killing anyone, which was awesome. She goes out, and as she's leaving, the Overmare tells her that even if you find Velvet Remedy, we will not let you back in the stable. And she's like, huh. Well, I'm already committed to the bit here, so
I just gotta
she's
go
like,
in.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't fucking hear you say that, and I'm just gonna pretend that if I do bring her back, you'll just let me back in anyway.
Mhm.
Like, even though we said that, I don't know why she said that. Like, oh hey, have a nice day, Grandmas. I don't know why, like that context given, like you cannot come back to the stable if you leave, just because I guess they're worried about contamination or some shit like that.
They're probably worried about contamination, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're not letting the. This just lacks the context of like Fallout 3 and like Vault 101, where like the idea that the stable has never been open before was a lie. Excuse me, the vault was never been open before was a lie, right?
Yes.
In this, it does seem like that is legitimately true, that no one has ever actually left Stable 2 before. And we're not letting you leave. We're not letting you come back. We don't even like you.
No one's going to miss you, Little Pip. I'm sorry.
That's where the chapter ends. She steps outside. She immediately has a panic attack and throws up. I think, right?
Yeah, that's where it ends. That's where she steps outside, and
Yeah, she goes outside. Chapter 2 starts. She has a panic attack because she looks at the open sky for the first time in her life.
understandable. They explain it later, but the sky is always cloudy, no matter what.
Yeah. She doesn't really contextualize that until later on, and then they explain that why later. I'm looking at the chapter thinking, okay, this is where Velvet Remedy left the message. She lives it on a computer terminal outside the vault door, the steel door. That does
Probably because she was expecting someone to follow her. Her fucking ego told her that.
Please do not come and get me. I will not be returning, and there's no way you can track me anyway. She goes up and she realizes that she is in an apple cellar. Well, that what was once an apple cellar, next to a huge dilapidated farmhouse.
It's Sweet Apple Acres, everybody, but it's destroyed.
For us, of course, the context is that it's Sweet Apple Acres. I believe the Pit Buck says as much because it starts the running joke of why the hell does the Pit Buck know what this shit is.
They explain it like it's because every location on the planet has a fucking geographical marker that the Pit Buck can pick up on.
Yeah, but they do the joke in this book the same as like it's like a common Fallout joke where it's like, how would my pre-war technology Pip-Boy know the name of something that didn't exist pre-war? How does the Pip-Boy know what Megaton is?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. It's part
in this case, it's magic, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's magic.
I believe she also at this point finds little Macintosh, like right away, right?
No, she doesn't get it till she goes to the gun store before the raiders.
Oh, that's right. It's at Iron Shift. Yeah, right. For some reason I thought it was in Sugar Cube Corner, or excuse me, in Sweet Apple Acres, but that's not true, right? So she's out there with no No gun.
No gun. She wanders into Ponyville and immediately gets captured by slavers.
Yeah, she wanders around. She didn't even get to Ponyville itself. She takes about 5 steps and immediately gets kidnapped, abducted by slavers, where she meets a fat piece of shit called Monterey Jack.
Okay, back in the fucking day, I went, is really your first companion gonna be called fucking Monterey Jack okay, thank God he's not.
No, he sucks. That guy sucks.
I wrote down this note. Imagine you're living in the post-apocalypse and your fucking cutie mark is cheese. What do you do with that?
That guy had a super hella cheese operation. Probably.
I mean, I guess people still need cheese in the post-apocalypse.
We get introduced to slavers here right off the bat.
Yes. The main antagonist of the first arc.
Yes. The main antagonist of... Yeah, that's pretty much true. Yeah, the main antagonist of the first arc. They bleed into the rest of the narrative as well with Red Eye and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Slavers, they take her, they shackle her. It's just her and Monterey Jack, I believe. And they're marching them, to wherever exactly they end up. I wonder where they would have ended up going. Probably to Shattered Hoof, I guess.
Honestly, I mean, Shattered Hoof, yeah, that's where they take all their slaves.
Yeah, because that's like the major slaver base in this area. They enter sort of the outskirts of the Ponyville area, which is Raider territory, which we're also then introduced to Raiders. And
the slavers are expecting to pay a toll.
They're expected to pay a toll, and instead they blow their shit schmoove off.
These raiders are violent.
They blow their shit schmoove off their head. A firefight ensues. Little Pip is able to free herself and the fat cheese guy. She does not kill anyone in this encounter.
Not yet.
She managed to avoid murder because she feels a little squeamish about it. Although she does figure out how a gun works by watching it happen. And so they've won the encounter, basically. Little Pip has managed to survive. All the raiders are either unconscious or dead. And then
Jack pulls a shotgun on her.
Monterey Jack puts a fucking gun in her face and says, "Give me all your money and stuff." And Little Pip is very offended at the notion
I saved your life, man.
Held up for money after I just saved your fucking life. And he says, "Well, I'm a real piece of shit and I'm an asshole." Is pretty much what he's... I don't remember what he says.
I don't remember what he says. I like cheese.
He said, "I like cheese. I love cheese." I need all your money so I can get more cheese.
She disarms him with telekinesis and aims a shotgun back at him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she just tells him to fuck off. She doesn't kill him or anything.
She doesn't kill him. She tells him to fuck off, and he does.
Yeah, she basically threatens him with a shotgun. It's like, "I do know how to use this, so put my money down and leave, or I'll kill you, I guess."
And from there,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
She wanders into Sugar Cube Corner.
Dipshit. I think it's Carousel Boutique, I believe.
No, it's Carousel Boutique because she finds Rarity's dress.
Right, she finds Rarity's dress. She wanders into Carousel Boutique, and I think she falls asleep in there.
She falls asleep in there only to wake up to, oh, raiders are outside.
Yes. And then she meets the Watcher.
Yeah, the Watcher, the person inside who watches through iBots.
Who watches through iBots, Sprite bots.
Sprite bots.
Because they look like pear sprites.
We're gonna be saying the Fallout terms all podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna fuck them up every single time, I'm sure. The Watcher talks to her through the Sprite bot. He introduces himself more or less. He doesn't really actually do that. He just basically tells her that she needs to go find a goddamn gun and some armor and maybe...
Watcher tells her there is a gun store nearby and there's probably something inside the library she needs.
Yes, he does tell her... He tells her that she should get a copy of the Wasteland Survival Guide, since she obviously doesn't know the first thing about anything, and tells her that Ponyville Library is nearby and definitely has a copy of the book in there. And no, I'm not lying.
From this point on, this entire chapter is Little Pip getting a taste for murder.
She just kills
and kills
and
and
kills
does
and
not
kills.
stop.
She just goes through a whole John Wick fucking scenario here where she's just like trading guns, like emptying a gun, throwing it down, picking up another gun, shooting and stuff because she doesn't have like a personal firearm yet. She fights her way. She's also introduced to the concept of a grenade here, I think.
Yes.
I think the first time she kills someone is because she telekinetically pulls the pin of a grenade
and throws it back. Yes.
Fucking explodes in their face. They're like, oh fuck!
I just killed that person. Oh well.
He's like, oh shit! I just killed that person. Well,
I
go, I guess.
I've walked through the threshold. There's no going back now.
Yeah, it's like, well, here we are, I guess, right? Let's just start killing people.
She has been outside for like maybe 6 or 7 hours. 6 or 7. 7 hours. She accumulates a body count of like 30 people.
She kills a lot of raiders. I mean, she clears this whole town out, basically.
Yep.
Single-handedly. It's fucking crazy. It's just because she has like, well, it's because she has SATs, the stable tech assisted targeting spell or whatever the fuck it's called. It's just because she's cheating.
she has the auto aim spell.
She's cheating. Yeah, she literally has an auto aim spell. She's just bullshitting. She fights her way from Carousel Boutique into Ponyville Library, which of course Twilight Sparkle's home. Which again, she's given no context for. I don't think she ever really gets additional context for Ponyville.
She sees the statue of Big Mac.
Oh yes, on the way there, she does see a statue of Big Mac. The war hero Big Macintosh, which again has no context for her, but she'll get some of that later. But it's a context, of course, for the audience to know that little Big Mac he died in the war in some sort of a heroic fashion.
Big Mac stepped on a landmine for your country.
I believe he took a bullet for Celestia.
He did. They explained that in the last chapter.
They explained that in the last chapter. Yeah, he heroically threw himself in the path of a bullet to prevent a JFK situation from occurring.
But unfortunately, that literally causes the domino effect that leads to the end of civilization as we know it.
Yeah, it sure does. Well, that's because after that happens, Celestia retires, right? Like she steps down.
Yeah, she steps down, puts Luna in charge. Luna creates the ministries.
It probably would have been worse if she got her head blown off, though, huh?
It would it would have gotten way worse.
It probably would have gotten way worse, way faster if Celestia's fucking head exploded. Yeah. Yeah. So Little Pip fights her way into and through the Ponyville Library. I think she takes a couple of shots, but she mostly gets out of there pretty good. She discovers what healing potions are. I guess she already knew what healing potions are, but we are introduced to the concept of a healing potion, which are, of course, the equivalent of a stim pack in this setting.
It's the stim pack. She gets barding, or what is horse armor.
Yeah, she gets armor, which is nasty and covered in blood and stuff, but it's better than nothing. She fights her way through the Ponyville Library. She discovers captive ponies in cages.
We meet our very first ghoul.
We meet our very first ghoul, which she doesn't realize for a minute until it gets up and starts looking at her and shit. We are basically informed as the audience right away that this ghoul is Derpy.
Yay!
Who has survived the war.
That's right, everybody. Everyone's favorite horse survived the apocalypse. Derpy lived forever.
Right. Derpy lived forever. She is 200 plus years old. She's a ghoul. We find out later that she can't talk anymore because her tongue has been cut out at some point.
Because she didn't say anything in season 1 at all.
I guess that's the bit here, right?
Because no one knew how she actually spoke.
Yeah, K-Cow's like, I don't know how this character talks, so she's just not gonna talk, brother. Yeah.
She's not gonna. She is wall-eyed.
Yeah, she's wall-eyed in a Pegasus, and we're giving all the implication we need, of course. And then, of course, they confirm her later. Although I do believe they call her Ditzy Doo in this.
Yes, they call her Ditzy Doo in this story.
Yeah, pick one or the other. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you call her. She saves Ditzy and some little girl as well, I believe, and she lets them go. Like she doesn't follow them or anything. They go off on their own way.
Hmm.
She clears town and
Ponyville is
heads.
empty now, nothing but bodies.
Yeah, she clears town. She gets a bunch of crappy guns. Like she's got like some decent guns,
She
and
finds little Macintosh.
yeah, she makes her iron shot firearms. She procures little Macintosh there. Um, she finds a note along with it from Brayburn, who was, I suppose, the director of this firearms facility, to Applejack, implying that the note implies, well, not imply, the note states that the little Macintosh was made custom for Applejack as a gift, as sort of a mending of fences between her and Brayburn, who have, I guess, I don't know exactly what they don't talk anymore. They kind of broke off.
They had a fallout, as you would say.
Yeah, they had a sort of a falling out. Yeah, they had a fallout. I think the implication is that they fell out after Big Mac died.
I mean, that would make the most sense.
Yeah, so it doesn't give you a whole lot of context for that, but it was intended to be Brayburn's apology to her. I obviously, fortunately, never made it to her. But as a result, it is in basically perfect mint condition. It is a very powerful. It's scoped 44, is I believe the Fallout 3 equivalent of this gun. It's a good gun. It's a good idea from like a character perspective to give Little Pip like an iconic gun to use. You know, like every protagonist in something like this should have like an iconic gun. She gets one like right away.
It's
Little Macintosh
based on the Black Hawk from Fallout 3.
Yeah, so it's a scope 44. Little Macintosh will see her through to the very end of this journey, I believe, along with a couple of other guns that she will get her hands on later.
She is very much a guns character, not an energy or big gun character.
She does not use energy weapons at all. I think she.
They specifically say she does not know how they work.
Yeah, she doesn't know how they work. Also, Calamity starts using those later on anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just a small guns character. She has a specific canonical loadout, which you can replicate in Fallout 3 if you're interested in doing so.
You can.
Except that you have to. One of the guns that she gets later on is a scoped silenced assault rifle, which is only available in the Pits DLC. Also, that gun fucking sucks.
She is canonically wearing the Vault 13 armor you get from Moira, the Black Hawk, a silenced assault rifle.
Sound scope assault rifle, and I believe she has a sniper rifle.
She gets a sniper rifle. I don't know what the name of it is in Fallout 3, but still.
I think it's just I don't know if it's a special sniper rifle. If it's just a sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all she really carries. She doesn't carry any melee weapons, does she?
No, she is not the melee character.
No. Oh, I guess there's another character that does that in the party later. Quick fun aside: Blackjack, the protagonist of Fallout Fallout Equestria Project Horizons, also has a canonical loadout that you can acquire in Fallout New Vegas. She has a lot of guns.
Well, that's because Fallout New Vegas has like double the amount of guns from Fallout 3.
Yeah, Blackjack carries, if I can remember, I think she carries a 12-7 pistol. She carries a fucking katana. Fucking what else does she carry? I can't even remember the other shit she carries. But
look forward to when we reread Project Horizons.
We are not fucking reading Project Horizons. Hell no.
That's fair.
There's also one of Blackjack's companions is a Pegasus. Is she a Pegasus? Called Morning Glory. She's a Pegasus. Her name is Morning Glory. There's also a unique laser rifle in Fallout New Vegas called No, it's not called. There's a cave in Fallout New Vegas on its hearts called Morning Glory. Mm-hmm. There is a specific special laser rifle, the unique laser rifle in Fallout New Vegas that you can acquire that Morning Glory carries in Project Horizons. It's like the laser rifle in Vault 22 that has like a green beam or something like that. She uses that. That's not important anyway. She gets the gun. She meets Watcher again, who explains he calls them virtues here, but he's of course referring to the elements of harmony themselves: laughter, loyalty, generosity, honesty, kindness, magic. And he tells Little Pip I think he formally introduces himself and calls himself the Watcher at this point because she fucking yells at him about. Well, she yells at him about lying to her.
You told me there was a book in there. I did.
Yeah.
There's raiders!
Yeah, she does fucking blow him out for, like, lying to her and putting her in danger without being forthcoming about the danger. But he tells her that he was worried that if he told her what was actually going on, that she would refuse to assist, which is to say, refuse to save those captives.
The Watcher,
says,
the Watcher just
really
randomly does this to people.
Yeah, he just lies all the time, yeah. She says that's a really fucking douchey thing to do, man.
We also learn about the taint or the radiation in this world.
Yeah, he tells her a little bit about taint, which is basically the leftover. It's radiation. I mean, it's just radiation.
It's radiation.
It's the leftover magical residue from the megaspell detonations. It does basically all the things that radiation does. Makes you sick, warps your body, kills you,
mutates
or
creatures
turns
into
you
monsters,
or turns you into a ghoul.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think I think she sees a sprite, bloat sprite.
She's a bloat sprite, which is a bloat fly.
Which is bloat fly, and she's like, that is not what sprites look like in like the books that I read. He's like, yeah, the taint has fucked them all up and shit. So like, you're gonna see some pretty crazy stuff out here. He explains to her about these virtues, and he said that everybody has a virtue, not necessarily just those 6 virtues, but everybody has a virtue, and you, little Pip, should try to find what your virtue is. And that virtue will sort of guide you through your life.
This is essentially the call to action to keep little Pip going and make sure she doesn't go back to the vault, story-wise.
Yeah, you need to find your virtue. And he's sort of... he doesn't really imply anything. And as a matter of fact, I think the last chapter of the book is called The Virtue of Little Pip.
Yes.
So this does come all the way back around later. I mean, this really, like, comes back around super hard later on. So we're just setting it up here now. But he does sort of... Little Pip sort of gets this idea in her head where she's like, I have no idea what Velvet Remedy is. Like, she's like... It's like... So we're like 2 days out of her, like, being on the outside. She's like, okay, I have no idea what Velvet Remedy is. I have no idea how the hell I could possibly track her down. I am out here. I'm stuck out here. They're not going to let me back in the vault. Or the stable, right? So, like...
This is my life now.
This is my life now. And then she thinks back on what's going to happen so far, and she's like, the first thing that happened to me was that I was taken captive by slavers, and I had to rescue those other people who were taken by raiders, and so I've decided that I am staunchly anti-slavery, and I am going to just ride this wave out until I die.
I'm just going to keep doing this until the bodies stop piling at my feet.
Yeah, so she's like, I'm just gonna start a one-man crusade, Punisher style, against all slavers in the entire world.
She resolves this pretty quickly.
Yeah, she does a really fucking good job of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just does it. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. And so she, this is also when she, after Watcher leaves, like he like turns off or whatever. The sprite bot starts doing its thing again, and she hears Red Eyes like sermons for the first time.
President Eden.
President Eden, which gives her a very false impression of a couple of things going forward. But she also, I believe, at this point understands that. Oh no, she doesn't know who Red Eye is yet. She thinks that this is everybody's leader.
We are introduced to Red Eyes, a person who is trying to unify the wasteland.
Yeah, he does. I think he does drop unity a couple of times, which obviously is a big thing in the story. And she just picks a direction and starts walking, I think, at this point.
She miraculously starts walking towards New Appaloosa.
And then she gets killed. The end. She gets shot and dies.
She makes camp. She sees a Pegasus flying through the air. The Pegasus shoots her, and she goes unconscious from blood loss.
And she dies. And that's the end of chapter 4. And then she wakes up, chapter 5, and she's not dead. And I swear to God, the first thing that she does is start talking about how pretty the nurse is.
No, I wrote that down. This whole sequence is she talked about how pretty the nurse is. The nurse talks about how handsome Calamity is, and she's like, I don't care about men.
She's like, he shot me. I don't care. Stop talking about Calamity. Holy fuck. Can we talk about you? Jesus Christ. dying from like semi-conscious, like lost so much blood. So she wakes up in the town of New Appaloosa. Um, she meets Calamity sort of more formally. He apologizes to her.
Apologize for shooting her. He thought she was a raider, and to be fair, she was wearing raider armor.
She was wearing raider barding, covered in blood, carrying like several guns, and so Calamity apologizes for the misunderstanding, but does defend himself in the regard that he believes that he was right to fire at her. Like, he doesn't apologize for that necessarily. He apologizes basically for being wrong, right? Which is important for later. And the misunderstanding is cleared up. She's thankfully alive. She's introduced to the town of New Appaloosa, where she runs across good old Ditsy once again.
Who runs a bartering shop. She's Moira.
Again,
she's Moira.
Ditsy is the equivalent here of Moira, both in that she runs Crater Side Supply, basically, and also that she's, as we find out, the author of the Wasteland Survival Guide. She's Ghoul Moira, to be more specific, I suppose. Little Pip is granted a copy of the Wasteland Survival Guide. That's really not important, I guess, is it?
And
really.
She is welcome to trade with Ditsy at any time.
Yep, she does some trading. It's at this point that she finds out what bits are, or excuse me, what caps are. Yeah, she finds out what caps are, and then she kicks herself for like throwing a bunch of caps away earlier when she saw like a bunch of caps laying around. She's like, that's probably not fucking relevant.
The equivalent of Nuka-Cola in this world is Sparkle Light Soda.
Sparkle Cola.
Sparkle Cola. Twilight's special soda.
It's Twilight Sparkle branded. Apparently it's carrot flavored, I believe.
Then we learn there is a purple version later made with radishes.
Right, the quantum equivalent, yes. Or whatever. She learns what ghouls are. Ghoul ponies, I believe is what they call them. She learns what a ghoul is, i.e. the Mega Spell and the Bale 5 bombs have fucked Ditsy up super hard. She learns that Ditsy's been alive since before the war.
Ditsy was right outside of Cloudsdale when she saw the bomb.
Yeah, she got hit in midair, basically, by like the radiation of the bomb. I think we find her crashed caravan later, right?
We do.
In the story, yeah. She's also given a job to do by
Railright.
Railright, yeah, right. Railright.
Railright is like the leader of the town, and he promises he'll teach her a new spell if she helps clear out the local vault.
Yeah,
another local vault.
A different vault, yeah, because she sees him like doing like super like hardcore like telekinesis stuff, and she's like, "Whoa, I want to learn how to like lift train cars with my mind." And he's like, "I will teach you how to do that if you go shoot a bunch of scary stuff in this vault or whatever." There's some kind of creature that's coming.
If
from the
you
vault,
go to the sexism vault, I'll teach you a spell.
Yeah, so I want you to just go and just close the vault door. Just close the door of the vault and walk away from the vault.
Just close the vault.
Okay?
Don't go inside and lock yourself in.
Don't close yourself. She sets out. Calamity insists on coming with her. She tries to tell him to fuck off, but he won't listen. Like, he won't take it. So she's like, "Fine, whatever. Come with me." And they aren't really getting along a lot because she's a little pissed off that he shot her. And Calamity doesn't like her attitude, I guess.
We're also introduced to the idea of battle saddles now.
Yes, right. Calamity comes equipped with a battle saddle, which is essentially the barding that Little Pip wears, but with guns strapped to the sides.
Which explains how a horse shoots a gun.
Yeah. Except, well, we also know that a lot of guns are like mouth mounted. Like,
there is literally a paragraph later on that Little Pip shoots a gun by pulling the trigger with her tongue.
Yeah, and that's how Earth ponies that's how Earth ponies use guns, right? Pegasi, of course, unicorns can just levitate the gun and pull the trigger telekinetically, but if you're an Earth pony and you don't have a battle saddle, small arms have to be fired by putting the gun in your mouth, pulling the trigger with your tongue. Or you can use a battle saddle, which just has a bit for you to press on like with your mouth, and that fires the guns that are on your side.
Or you were
Calamity's
Pegasus and you trigger it with your wings.
Yeah, I think his also has a bit as well, but because so he can shoot and fly at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But we're introduced to this. Calamity has 2 rifles strapped to his sides. I don't know what the rifle's supposed to be exactly. It doesn't really
I'm
matter what
gonna
it is.
assume they're just carbines or repeating rifles.
Yeah, something like that.
Because he can
It just
fire them like really fast.
yeah, it's just some sort of repeating rifle of some kind. It's some semi-large caliber rifle. Um, Calamity is equipped with such a feature. Little Pip never gets a battle saddle because she's probably too fucking small.
Again, she is too small and cannot wear any of it.
She does get her armored stable barding at this time, which is to say that she surrenders her stable barding to Ditzy, and as a reward for saving her, she infuses it with armor. Basically, this is
Good armor.
what
The vault,
she will
the
wear.
vault 13, the vault 101 armor can like carry you through the game.
It carries through the early game. Yeah, this is what she will wear for literally the entire rest of the game. Or the story, I mean, not the game. She also has pouches and stuff in here for her various, tools and lock picks and bobby pins and such not. So she's wearing armored stable utility barding, which is not actually a real thing in the games. But you can imagine if it was like vault utility barding, but a vault utility jumpsuit, but armored. Doesn't really matter. Calamity's wearing some kind of armor. They don't really ever mention it too deeply what he's wearing. It doesn't really matter. He's wearing a battle saddle, so like, who gives a shit what he's wearing?
K-Cat never really describes his appearance beyond his fur color. Because he speaks in a southern accent, everyone's like, oh yeah, he wears a cowboy hat.
Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't actually wear a hat. At least it's never mentioned in the story, but in pretty much any and all fan art of Fallout Equestria, Calamity will always be depicted wearing a hat, usually a black Stetson of some kind. Just because, just like with Applejack, right? It's like whatever, right?
If you speak in a southern accent, you're gonna have a hat.
He is not related to Applejack because he's a Pegasus. He just also happens to have an accent. How did that accent? Where did he come from? It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
They got fucking other people that sound like you in Cloudsdale up there? Like, what's up? I don't know, man.
Why do you sound like that? I don't know, man.
I just did it as a bit. It just got stuck,
What if it would be so funny if he was like reveals in the final chapter. He just starts talking like Arcade Ganon.
He starts talking like normal, yeah. It's also important to note, it's not mentioned explicitly until later, but it's important to note that Calamity's battle saddle covers his cutie mark.
Yes, we do not see his cutie mark.
I assume most barding covers your cutie mark as well, but it's important to later to know that we don't know what Calamity's cutie mark looks like.
I mean, yeah. I've seen horse armor before. It covers most of their whole body.
Yeah, so we assume that. Like, Little Pip's cutie mark is also covered. But Calamity never takes it off. Like, he sleeps in his battle saddle until, like, later when they, like, get into this. But, like, until this point. So the two of them go over to Stable 24, which is another relatively nearby stable. It's not really clear exactly where we are in reference to, like, real-world Equestrian locations that we're aware of. We don't really know where New Appaloosa is supposed to be, because it's not Old Appaloosa.
Because Old Appaloosa is like far south.
Yeah, so this place is relatively close to Ponyville.
It is literally like a day's journey from Ponyville.
So I'm not sure where this other stable is supposed. It ultimately doesn't fucking matter at all, right? But I don't know where we're supposed to be right now. So they walk for not even a couple hours, like maybe an hour or two, get to stable 24. During the time they get there, it starts raining really bad, like torrentially raining. A river like overflows. They get to the doors of the vault, but they determine that it's too dangerous for them to stay outside. I think it starts thundering too, right?
They go inside and seal themselves away forever.
So they go inside and they close the fucking vault door. Also, because the vault was flooding, I believe. Like the water, like the rain was like flooding the vault, because the vault door was just open for some reason. How did that even? Doesn't matter. So they we explore the vault, and Little Pip just starts getting really pissed off. Just super pissed off the whole time because one, the layout of the vault is different than her vault, which pisses her off. Pisses me off too, actually. Um, and two, this vault is misogynistic. What, like, what was up with what? Why did this happen? How did this happen? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Equestria is ruled by women, right? Like, whose fucking idea? What was the purpose of Vault 24 here?
I don't know. It was the misogyny vault.
Like, what was the goal here? To like have this vault be like, yeah, the subject, the like.
What if
Like,
all the men were in charge, huh?
What if we invented misogyny? For the very first time ever in equestrian history, what if we invented misogyny?
Which of the main six thought this was a good idea?
This was fucking Apple Bloom's idea. I don't know.
Okay.
Scootaloo came up with this shit. I don't know, dude. Also, this is totally irrelevant to what actually is going on in this vault, which is weird. Also, I don't know what this part was about. It's just to piss Little Pip off super bad.
This was the filler. This is the filler chapter, and it's to piss Little Pip off.
So they find out in classic Fallout style through audio logs that some stupid kid accidentally invented a demon. The devil.
Some stupid kid accidentally teleported everyone's animal into a single creature and created a chimera.
He created a fucking chimera, which we incorrect. So yeah, so as we're finding this out, Calamity gets bitten by one, and we're under this like under assumption it's poison, like he's dying poisoning. No, they put eggs in him.
They impregged him.
They empregged him. He did get empreg, yeah. They empregged him, and this is the point of this whole chapter. Really is for Little Pip and Calamity to like actually like each other. So Calamity's like down. He's like literally dying.
It's for them to bond.
Yeah, and like he's like, you need to leave me behind and like get out of here and close the door to the vault, like, and just like leave me to die. Like, these things cannot fucking get out. Like, you gotta just like whatever. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you die. Like, it's my fault that this happened. Like, you shouldn't have even been here in the first place. And then Calamity like admits that he's just feels super guilty about shooting her, like way more than he like let on earlier. It's like, I feel super bad about it. Like, I came here because I felt like I owed you because I shot you in the head earlier. And so they've reached a sort of mutual understanding with each other. Little Pip is able to use a stealth buck, not a stealth boy, because it's a stealth buck. She's able to use a stealth buck, and over the course of like goddamn like 2 hours of like sneaking around this vault, she manages to find the anti-venom basically for the chimeras, and is able to save Calamity. She also discovers a fucking crate of dynamite.
Why is that here?
Fucking, what are we doing in this vault, dude? This is just a bullshit. We made this vault as a joke. So, they get the recipe for the anti-venom. They blow up the vault, basically. I mean, they
seal it off forever.
Yeah, I mean, she puts a bunch of dynamite in basically every single room that has a chimera in it. She kills all the chimeras, presumably they all die via explosion. And then they get out and they seal the door to the vault. And mission accomplished. On the way back, they argue with each other. And not so... They kind of get at each other about it. Well, you shouldn't have been there in the first place, so it's my fault that you got poisoned. Well, actually, we shouldn't have even... Well, Calamity's like, well, we shouldn't have even gone in there in the first place. And she said, if we didn't go in there in the first place, we wouldn't have been able to find the anti-venom. And I'll remind you that some of these things did get out, and they did bite people, because there's people in the New Appaloosa Infirmary who were dying of being
of
positive. Yeah. And so then there would have actually like legitimately gotten out. And he's like, all right, you win that one. He's like, all right, yeah, fair. We had to go in there for sure. And so now they're BFFs forever and ever.
And ever. We can't forget about the misogyny vault.
Yeah, we just don't talk about that. I mean, it doesn't really come up again.
Nope.
Except for the next time they're in a vault, Calamity pulls Velvet Remedy aside and says, "Hey, then the last time we were in a vault, Little Pip like freaked the fuck out. Like she had a full on fucking crash out last time we were in a vault. So maybe let's just be chill here. Maybe it doesn't ever bring that shit up again. Other than also, I guess maybe a veiled sort of way to make sure you understand like about Cesti and Luna or something like that.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know what the point of that chapter was. This is probably like the least like.
This is the least relevant chapter ever. It is, like you said, it is a way for Calamity and Little Pip to finally become friends.
I get I don't begrudge the concept because they did need to go through something to like get to that level with each other. It would have been weird if like they just started hanging out like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But like the actual metrics of what happens in this chapter is super weird. Super weird. It's such a weird side quest.
It is exactly what it is. It's a weird side quest.
It's a weird side quest. A little also gets a recording from Vault Tech Stable Tech Vice President Scootaloo, which informs that the stables are experimentals. They're experiment grounds, same as in the regular Fallout series.
Mm-hmm.
These vaults are intended to put ponies through various social experiments in order to build a better Equestria on the other side of the war, so that we do not make the same mistakes that we made the last time around.
Anyway, we just started fucking with people.
Which is not why Vault Tech did that shit.
Vault Tech literally did this so they could control the population post-war.
Yeah, at least the Stable Tech had legitimately good intentions, I guess, for the most part. I don't think there's any vaults that we see in stables that are like super fucked up. We don't really see.
Most of the stables we see are just actually control stables, so they're fine.
Yeah, the next stable that we go into is just like normal, I think. I don't think there's even anything wrong with it. I can't remember. There's one in these chapters, or maybe it's. Oh no, that's actually in the next section of the book when they are looking for a certain piece of technology for steel hooves.
Mm-hmm.
They go into a vault, but that's later in the story. But there's nothing wrong with that vault, I think. But I think that might be the only. I think that there's only, including Stable 2, Stable 14, or excuse me, Stable 24, and whichever this other one stable is. I think this might be the only stables in the story.
K-Cat wasn't too interested in exploring the stables in this setting.
I mean, it's not relevant, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, for the story, like, there's other shit to be doing instead of, like, taking diversions to... Because every time we do it, it's literally a diversion. Like, it's a side quest. Like, even the next time they go into the stable in, like, chapter, like, 13 or 14, it's... The point of that is just so that we can introduce the, like, character dynamic between Velvet Remedy and Calamity. Because they haven't really gotten to know each other very well yet. So it's like, these are just asides that we use to do character work. And we don't really need that, like, after that. So it's, like, not relevant anymore. There are some really fucked up stables in Project Horizons. Project Horizons is fucked up anyway, so... You know, that's not relevant. Anyway.
Little Pip comes back and she learns to lift even heavier things with her telekinesis. And then go ahead.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Something we skipped is in every chapter, at the end of every chapter, Little Pip gets a level up.
Yeah, every chapter she levels up.
she gets a level up, and you get like some little flavor text about what perk she got. It's cute. I love it. Just a little like telekinesis level 2 or whatever, and it's like a little blurb about like whatever that like just like the flavor text you get in like perks in Fallout. That's cute.
She got the heavy lifter perk. She can now carry twice her weight.
Yeah, it's cute. Predator Horizons does this as well. I think most Fallout Fallout Equestria derivatives do this because it's a really like good idea. It's a really cute idea.
Neat. It's cute.
So
chapter 6.
Yeah, so we're back in New Appaloosa.
She finds out Appaloosa does trading with the slavers.
Yeah, we go to the bar. She finds out that Red Eye is not the leader of Equestria like she had assumed, but is in fact sort of the boss of the slavers. She learns that old Appaloosa, the original Appaloosa, is a slaver town in which New Appaloosa trades with, which immediately puts her off from liking anybody who lives here.
She doesn't like anybody who lives here anymore, except Itzy-Do.
Except Itzy-Do, and Calamity also tells her this is why I don't live here, because he doesn't live in New Appaloosa. He like sort of does mercenary work. Like he protects the people in the town, but he doesn't consider himself to be a resident. Like he doesn't live in the town. He says this is why I don't live here.
and then Little Pip goes, "Hey, you want to kill some slavers?" And Calamity was like, "Oh hell yeah, sister!
Oh hell yeah!" She's also in this chapter introduced to Party Time Mentals.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She gets addicted. Frame 1, she takes a menthol and gets addicted.
She gets addicted to Party Time Mentals instantaneously. Calamity gives her some, which I'm sure he feels guilty about later down the line.
Yep.
It's a very guilty guy, that Calamity's got a lot of guilt.
This is a part of Little Pip's character arc.
This is like, it doesn't like quite come into focus just right now. Like it takes a little bit of extra time for them to like, for KCAT to start digging into this. But this is like one of the more interesting parts of Fallout Equestria, that it deals with. I mean, it literally deals with addiction. In like, Little Pip has a legitimate addiction that is like negatively impacting her life and her relationship with others. And
she
it's
needs
played
those
completely
mentats.
straight. It is played totally straight the whole way through, from start to finish. Like her addiction is played completely straight. There's no fucking like jokes or bullshit about it. Like it's a very like serious adult telling of a story of like that. I think that's one of the things that really elevates Fallout Equestria in terms of like it just being just like, like not like the story's goofy or whatever, but I think that really grounds it a lot in reality. For Little Pip to just have a really serious, like a really legitimately serious struggle with addiction in the middle of the story.
That Little Pip comes from a family that has addiction problems.
Yeah, and and even beyond that, like just like Little Pip has a serious character flaw, like a very serious character. I mean, she has several serious character flaws, but one of her serious character flaws is that she's very prone to addiction, and she's very stubborn.
Yes,
and one of like Calamity and Velvet's character flaws is that they ignored this for way too long and let her keep doing it.
Because she was good at killing people and lockpicking.
Yeah, they let her, like Velvet puts up a very token resistance to it, but ultimately she irresponsibly lets Little Pip keep doing this until she feels that it's gone far enough, and it's a whole thing. That's in the 10 pony section of the book.
That's literally the next arc.
That literally is like the next big arc of the story is about dealing with Little Pip's addiction, and also like there's lots like in the next part of the book is like lots of it is like a lot of backstory about what was happening prior to like during the war, because we juxtapose Pinkie Pie's struggles with addiction as like straight against Little Pip's doing the same thing with the same exact drug. Things about Steel Hooves and the other companion, and like the 10 pony stuff, which is a lot of just character work before we jump back into like the plot in like the next part of the book.
This is the next arc is good. It's just one big side quest.
Basically, yeah, it's just one. They stay in Ten Pony Tower for the majority of that arc. Because again, it's just big character work stuff, lots of character work stuff. It's really good. It's like sort of the big turning point for like Little Pip and her relationship with others, and
Hmm.
like her character, like her and herself and her addiction and all kinds of things. And her, she comes. I can't spoil too much, but there's lots of bad stuff that happens to Little Pip in that area of time, and a lot of that stuff are the consequences. Like a lot of that arc is about her dealing with the consequences of the things that are happening to her now in the first part of the book. Like when you get to the Tenpenny Tower arc, she has to really come face to face with the sort of really ugly reality of the choices that she's made and the consequences of those choices.
But
Really good
Mentats
stuff.
taste like candy, and they make me smarter.
Yeah, regular Mentats suck, so we need the party time shit for sure.
Hmm.
Anyway, so she gets a party time Mentat, and she's able to use that to convince some of the train ponies to help them get to Appaloosa so that they can shoot every single slaver there.
They convince the train ponies to help them as an escape route.
Yeah, right, that's right. Yeah. Um, she also finds the first of the main six statues, which are the
Yes,
equivalent of the
she
vault
finds the
bobbleheads.
bobbleheads.
Yeah.
She finds Applejacks, correct?
Finds Applejack's first, correct? Yeah, which is
I need to
suppose
point this out.
quite.
Little Pip is way more into femmes than butches.
Yeah, well, she could have. I'm pretty sure she does have a bit in here where she's like fucking jerking off to Applejack for like 2 seconds when she like really gets a good look at her. It's like, yeah, I mean, she's pretty fucking hot, yeah, for sure. I mean, I get it, yeah.
I'm just gonna put this in my jar for later.
Just gonna put this in my. I'm pretty sure she does just start jacking off when she sees the rarity statue later.
No, she
I'm pretty
does.
sure she does just start jerking off to it, yeah. Um, yeah, she's way more. Well, I guess she could go. Would you call her? I don't want to spoil it. Would you call the character later femme? She's kind of a butch, isn't she?
We could say Fudge.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't. Does she have a canonical design? Like, I feel like I
I
haven't seen
don't.
her in a long time.
I've seen art of these characters over the decade. I don't remember.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
I think Little Pip, like Little Pip definitely has a thing for femmes. She absolutely does. I would say Pip.
I mean, she does because her gay awakening was Velvet Remedy.
Yeah.
Like, she's got a.
I would say that
got
maybe Pip sees herself more as the butch of the relationship.
She does. Yeah, she does. I mean, Butch for Butch is real,
It's
honestly.
true.
We'll get to her later.
Maybe there's like a few compliments about Applejack, like she calls her like handsome or something. But there's like a full blown paragraph of when she finds the rarity statue.
Yeah, I mean, she literally stops what she's doing and just starts jerking off, like for like 2 pages when she sees like a picture of the statue of rarity for the first time. Yeah, she also seems to like older women. I think a little bit too.
True.
I mean, because I think the statues are, of course, are the main six when they're a bit older,
Mhm.
a while older. So where are we at? Yeah, so
She finds the Applejack
they
statue. They start heading towards Old Appaloosa.
So they get to Appaloosa, kills a couple slavers, like a slaver patrol or whatever. They get into Appaloosa itself, and lo and fucking behold, there's Velvet Remedy.
She is performing for them.
Hanging out with slavers. What the fuck? What are you fucking talking about?
I get where Velvet's coming from. Her morality is so fucked.
Her morality is so. I mean, that's her character flaw.
That is her character flaw.
Her morality is super self-serving.
Yes.
I think I'm positive that there is literally a part in this book later where where Little Pip just bites her head off about how like self-serving and like hollow her sense of morality is. And how many times she'll turn her head to things, like she'll like turn a blind eye to certain things if she can't find a reasonable like way to justify it.
We find
it's all
out
self-justification with her.
Velvet Remedy she's a pacifist and she wants to be a medical pony.
Yes. So right. So that's the end of chapter 6. Is the big like reveal at the end of chapter 6 is that we found Velvet Remedy, and she is by the look of it, like in with the slavers,
Yes.
which doesn't make any sense. Um, she Little Pip is able to like corner Velvet like in her dressing room, I guess, and
Hey,
confronts
hey,
her
look, why are
about.
you covered in blood? Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah, she confront. I mean, they have some back and forth about what the hell are you doing here? I told you not to follow me. Whatever. What the hell are you doing with slavers?
Well,
And
they had hurt. I needed to tend to them.
so what Velvet explains is that she talks a lot about herself here.
Hmm.
First of all, regarding her cutie mark, which I think we didn't mention before, but a is it a just a bird?
It's a songbird.
It's a songbird, right? And Philip Hope's like, yeah, because you're a singer, and she says, well, that's not what I wanted to be, though. I wanted to be a
Free.
medical. Like I wanted, well, yeah, as I wanted to be a medical like technician, but the overseer wouldn't allow it. I was a unicorn and I had a talent for singing, and so I was essentially forced into the role of being sort of like the stable idol, which I've always sort of resented, even though I am very good at it. She says my cutie mark is not a bird in a cage, it's a bird flying free, and so I could not allow myself to be confined to the cage of the stable, and thus is why I left. At which point, I believe in this conversation, she also refuses to take her Pip buck back, stating to Little Pip that it is a gilded shackle, and she does not want it. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
We also find out that the reason she's with the slavers is because they had sick and hurt people, and she offered
Yeah.
to take care of them.
Specifically, slaves. She justifies her presence here by saying that she is the only one that's basically keeping these slaves from like dying from their injuries or malnutrition or just general abuse. Little Pip tells her that's bullshit because the only thing that you're saving these ponies from is the only thing that you're keeping them healthy for is so that they can be used as slave labor. It would
And
probably be more merciful to let them die. The
and
only thing we're
Vel-
doing is making them healthy enough to go back to the
and
mines.
then Velvet Remedy goes, and what? You killing the slavers makes it better?
And she's like, yes, it does!
Yes.
Like, yes, what do you fucking mean? And she's like, yeah, Little Pip wins the shit out of this argument because they fire back at each other, and Little Pip's like, that's ridiculous. Your logic is completely flawed. All you're doing is prolonging the abuse and suffering of these ponies. You are basically, breaking their legs and then fixing them so you could break them again. And she says, well, what you're doing is reckless and is just going to get ponies killed, maybe even yourself. You're coming in here guns blazing to kill all these slavers, and then what? Are you gonna free every single slave and take them all to safety? And she said,
Yes.
yes, I am. And she says, how are you going to do that? There's no way that you could have a plan here. And she said, I have a train. And Velvet's like, oh,
Well, okay then.
all right. Well, she totally lost that fucking argument.
She did.
I like this scene a lot. It's like Velvet's sort of.
The idea of Velvet Remedy that Lil Pip had in her head about her just completely breaks here.
Totally dies here instantly. Yeah, when she hears Velvet justifying her actions in ways that just aren't making sense to her. But Velvet has sort of already settled into this sort of forced helplessness.
She
Not
refuses
exactly
to pick.
that, but
She refuses to pick up a weapon.
Yeah, she's pacifist. She refuses to defend herself or to defend others, and so the only way that she's found that she can live with herself basically is to be aligned with slavers, right? I mean, I guess just because she happened to like come across the slavers first, like basically the same as Little Pip did, since they came out in the same areas. I mean, literally the same area, right? But her justification here is that there's nothing else that I can do except help the slavers because I can't allow like she's going on about how her morality cannot allow her to sit idly by while ponies are hurt. But she refuses again. She turns a blind eye to the fact that her help is only making things worse for these people. And again, like Little Pip's idea of who Velvet Remedy is completely shatters here, but Velvet Remedy puts up such a piss poor like explanation for what she's doing, and it this is what feeds her whole character arc, is that she is pretty much helpless. I mean, she is a helpless sort of person. I mean, she has medical skills and she's able to do these things, and
She
she is actually a good medic, but ultimately what she's contributing is nothing. She's not only
her
contributing
tags are
nothing.
speech and medicine. That's it.
Yeah, and she's not even actually that good at speech.
Nope.
Like, she is, in terms of like contributing good to the world, she is not only not contributing good to the world, she's arguably making things fucking worse for people by keeping them alive so that the slavers can keep abusing them. And this is sort of the crux of her entire character arc over the course of the story, is that she has to come to terms with the fact that she is not helpful and is not, like, she can't do things on her own. She isn't as helpful as she wants to be, and she keeps insisting on turning a blind eye to things that could be helped if the way that helping didn't make her uncomfortable. Because that's ultimately what it comes down to with her, is that she feels uncomfortable doing anything other than what she's already done because she's too stubborn to think about it. And so she refuses to fight, she refuses to kill, and she chides Little Pip for doing so, even though what Little Pip is doing is objectively... Yeah, especially in these early chapters of the book, she takes every opportunity she can to dig at Little Pip for being a killer, as if what Little Pip is doing isn't objectively more helpful to like the common good than what Velvet Remedy is doing.
I think it's interesting to have a party member that doesn't completely align with the rest of the party's views.
It is interesting. Like, she makes for a good like auxiliary point of view on the thing, and because it's useful for Pip's character arc and her character arc as well, to them to try to come to terms with each other. But like, yeah, Velvet Remedy doesn't fall in line behind Little Pip. I mean, Calamity doesn't either. I mean, he does usually agree with Little Pip,
but he shares her point of view most of the time.
Yeah, but there are parts in the upcoming Shadow 12 segment where they butt heads about how to solve the problem a lot. So like, Calamity doesn't completely agree with her on all things all the time anyway, but Velvet Remedy basically never fucking agrees with her ever, which forces Little Pip to continuously justify her point of view or to explain why these things need to be done, which in turn fuels her addiction storyline, because she often feels that she needs to have the party time mentals in order to be convincing enough to justify these things.
Yep.
Because not every decision that Little Pip makes is a good decision, which is also important. Like, there are times where she's totally wrong, and you know, again, she has to live with those consequences later. But it's good for these sort of arguments to occur in these sections, so that like you can see how Little Pip is justifying these things or failing to do so. But also important that Velvet Remedy is just kind of a bitchy hypocrite.
Yeah, kind of.
Is just completely a bitchy hypocrite for the entire majority of this part of the book.
Most of the story, she is.
I mean, most of the story. I mean, she does eventually come to terms with herself, like later in the book, but like, she is a huge bitch hypocrite, like a lot of the time.
And even through that, Little Pip's crush on her never fully dies.
Not until they have that one argument later, which I think is in the Ten Pony. I mean, that's coming up. It's in the Ten Pony Tower stuff. I think it's right before or right after the resolution of her, the addiction storyline.
Yeah,
is also when her and Velvet have like their big fight or whatever exactly you'd like to call that. So that all happens in that section of the book, because then other stuff happens for Little Pip right after that in that section of the book. I don't want to talk about just yet, obviously. Yeah, so Little Pip manages to talk her down basically out of continuing to be a whipped bitch for the slavers. And they get out of there.
And their first goddess arrives.
Yeah, she sells Velvet on the rescue attempt. They start like sneaking the slaves out or whatever. They get caught, and a goddamn Alicorn shows up, and it's like, holy shit, what the hell?
Little Pip's like, Celestia and Luna, are you here to help us? No. I'm here to cause problems.
Do they even try to fight this thing?
They do fight her.
It uses that shield spell it has,
yeah, Calamity and Pip shoot at her, but she just shields away.
Right. So they're like, we're fucked. We're
And
gonna die here.
really, really delicate solution that Little Bit finds for this problem.
It's a callback to the first chapter.
Yeah, it's called picking up a whole train and dropping it on her.
It's called picking up a whole train car, dropping it in her head, which does kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Little Pip kills her first. They're calling them goddesses now. We'll call them alicorns later. She just killed her first alicorn. We're also like given the context for how absurd of a threat these things are. Like
That they're in charge of the
couldn't even touch it.
slavers. You can't touch them.
They couldn't even touch it. I think it could. I don't know if it shows off that it can teleport here, but we know that it can teleport later. We also, I think, I don't know if it's here in this part or later in later parts where we learn like these slaver operations have only recently in the last few months been taken over by these alicorns. Like prior slave bosses were killed for disobeying them. Like they run the show now, and supposedly are taking orders from Red Eye.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got these things in his pocket, which is scary. That's the assumption that we're making here anyway.
Imagine being back at like fucking Slaver HQ and they find out, hey, has anyone heard from old Appaloosa? Oh yeah, the goddess in charge of it got a train dropped on her. What?
Yeah, the guys in charge of it all, they all died over there.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, brother. Like,
She had a train car dropped on her.
The train car fell on her head and she died. Like an accident? No, like intentionally. Yeah, like it was like a murder sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fucked up. So
Then the next chapter is
8.
the train going back to New Appaloosa.
The train battle. This is basically a big long fight scene.
It's it's a big fight scene on top of the train. The slavers somehow knew where they were.
I mean, the train only goes
one way.
One direction,
yeah, one direction.
Yeah,
well, technically trains go two directions.
There's only one train track, I guess, so they probably just figured it out. Yeah, so yeah, the train's being attacked by slavers. I'm not sure how they caught up exactly.
They talk about this later, how the goddesses speak through telepathy.
Yeah, but how did they catch a moving train?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't. Just the slavers board the train, and there's a prolongated fight scene. Several of the like not important like train ponies are killed in the fight, which is a consequence that we'll have to deal with later.
We get to the part where Velvet Remy refuses to pick up a weapon. She literally,
Lilith
literally forces a weapon into her telekinesis.
Yeah, she forces her to pick up the gun and said, "Listen to me." You know, so Velvet Remedy and all the freed slaves, a lot of them are like children or like young, and they're all like half dead, so they can't defend themselves. They all put them in the caboose, I believe, and Velvet Remedy stays with them because she's the medic, right? So they might need medical attention. And Little Pip is like, you need to defend these people. And she's like, I refuse to kill. I refuse to attack anybody. I will not cause harm to another person. She's like, she literally like shoves a gun in her face. She's like, you will fucking defend these people or they will die and it will be your fucking fault. And also you will die too. So if you don't want that to happen, if someone comes to the store, you have to shoot them. So
they manage.
You make up your fucking mind about that.
Yeah. Like you said, it's a very extended fight scene. They managed to get Velvet Remedy and was it Calamity or Little Pip who disconnected the caboose?
I think it was Calamity did it. I think it was on Pip's like not orders, but like I think she was the one who. No, Calamity did it himself because he's stupid.
Yeah, because at some point during the fight to protect the slaves, Calamity went, "I'm gonna disconnect the caboose."
He disconnects the caboose so that because all the slavers are on the train. So he's like, well,
they know what the slavers want.
Yeah, so we can just go back and get them later after we deal with the problem here. And Little Pip in the moment is like, okay, that makes sense. Let's just keep going, right?
They managed to kill all the slavers, and they realize, hey, without the caboose, we can't stop the train.
Yep. They did not realize the brakes were in the caboose when they did that. So now they're on a careening runaway train that can't be stopped. And they basically just jump. Well, Calamity is able to pull them off.
Yeah,
Right?
they jump and Calamity catches both of them.
Yeah, he barely they barely make it out of there alive. Train crashes. So now we've killed all the train ponies that we brought with us, and we've lost New Appaloosa's train. So they're probably going to be pretty pissed off about that. We're also like way out in the middle of fucking nowhere at this point.
They're like, all right, we gotta walk now.
So yeah, we start walking. Oh, Watcher shows up briefly, and Little Pip yells at him. I don't know. She's pissed off. She yells at him. Well, she's like, I need you to contact New Appaloosa and tell them where the slaves are, so that they can go help them. And he's like, I don't really talk to people. I don't really do that. And she's like, you will fucking go goddamn do that, or I will bust your fucking head in through that speaker. And he's like, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And then Velvet Remedy makes a snide comment to Little Pip about how she treats her friends or whatever. Like she has any right to say that.
What is Velvet's problem?
She's just every opportunity just bitching at her. So we're to chapter 9 here. This is where we get a lot of shit happens in this chapter.
This is the fucking backstory chapter.
This is where we get pieces of Calamity's backstory, not all of it. He explains that after the they just start questioning him about stuff because they have some downtime. You know, how come you're the only Pegasus I've ever seen?
Oh, they're all up there.
Yeah, they're all above the clouds. He explains that after the first Mega Spell hit Carolot, Cloudsdale, the Pegasi determined just fuck them dirt ponies.
Fuck everybody who walks.
They closed up the skyline. They closed up the clouds. They like rose Cloudsdale above the cloud layer, closed the clouds, and that was the last anybody ever saw of the Pegasi.
They all just live above the clouds.
So I believe Cloudsdale didn't get hit at all, right?
No, Cloudsdale was confirmed one of the destroyed cities.
Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Cloudsdale. It was right. So it was after Cloudsdale was destroyed. Every other like. Was it Philadelphia or like I don't know what I can't remember what city or like whatever it was or if
it was Canterlot, Cloudsdale, and Manhattan were the main cities that were hit.
Yeah, but after Cloudsdale was hit, did they name like what Pegasus city became like the Enclave?
I think it was Lost Pegasus.
Or maybe it was Lost. It doesn't really matter ultimately. The point is that the Pegasi abandoned the Earth-dwelling ponies, and in the last 200 years, Pegasus society has never been seen again. The clouds have never parted. The Pegasi have never returned to the surface. Calamity explains that Pegasi society was essentially renamed as the Grand Pegasus Enclave, and that they are up there. They're still all up there today, and they are waiting.
They're waiting. Don't worry, they'll come back down to save y'all at any time.
They will someday come back down to liberate the land of Equestria. They have not done so in 200 years.
And because of that, Calamity has a contention with them, and that's why he left.
Yeah, and he leaves it at that for now. I don't think we get into the Dashite thing just yet. But he didn't like that. He had a problem with it, and so he came down to the surface and he's not allowed back up to the Pegasus domain. But he doesn't get any further into it, I believe, at this time, that what exactly the metrics of that are.
We go through them meeting a ghoul horde for the first time. And then immediately after the ghoul horde, it's raiders.
Yeah, there's a lot of shooting in this one. They also get Watcher also in this chapter provides an explanation regarding the ministries, the pre-war ministries, which is starting to become more important.
Yep, we learn about the Ministry of Magic and the Ministry of Morale.
Yeah, that he explains in the very briefest of terms the Celestia and the main six, and then when Celestia stopped being the ruler, Luna turned the main six into the rulers of the ministries, and everything got way worse after there.
We're just gonna slander our girls. They go down some paths here.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The gang comes across a rock farm. Is this supposed to be Pinky's childhood home?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I assume so.
We come across a rock farm, and we are introduced to a filly who paints herself pink and calls herself Pinky Belle.
Her name is Pinky Belle. She's pink. She is pink. That's her name, and that's what she looks like for sure.
Yep,
definitely.
And she is Pinkie Pie's biggest fan.
She's Pinkie Pie's biggest fan.
She is the Nuka-Cola superfan stand-in.
The Pinkie Pie Museum or whatever, right?
Yes. She is meant to be the Nuka-Cola superfan stand-in.
Right. As they spend the night there, they eventually learn that this kid's name is actually Silverbell, and she recently had her entire family murdered by slavers.
Wow, who knew? The slavers, the overarching villains of this arc.
Yeah, we learned that she unintentionally led slavers to her home, and her parents and her older sister were all killed in the ensuing attempt to enslave them.
And
except for her.
We find out Red Eyes has orders to not take children, only adults.
Yes, so she was left behind, basically. They just left her there. And thus has basically completely lost her fucking mind since that time.
Yep.
They are able to sort of... Oh, also that she was a unicorn, and she sawed her horn off.
To look like Pinkie Pie.
To look like Pinkie Pie, out of deranged grief after such things happened to her.
Because there was a whole thing with the Ministry of Morale. If you're a good kid, then Pinkie Pie will come and give you a party.
Right. Yeah. Right. So they they learn this, and they they try to sort of confront her about it and try to sort of talk her down. The chapter 9 actually ends sort of like in the middle of this. Like they find out like all that information switches over to chapter 10. As they're trying to, well, they do end up being able to talk her down. I think Velvet is able to sort of like get her down, right? They also find out that inside the Pinkie Pie Museum that she had a fucking nuke in there. She had balefire bomb,
a undetonated nuke.
Yeah, like Megaton style.
And they wait around, and Railright shows up to come pick up Silverbell.
Yeah, Railright, Ditzy in tow, come to pick up Silverbell, and they let him know that we also found the other slaves, and also we're gonna take that bomb because that probably shouldn't be sitting here, I guess.
And Railright's like, Railright's just, hey, Little Pip, can we have a conversation alone?
Yeah, you are banned.
You're not allowed back in New Appaloosa.
Yeah, you got a bunch of our people killed, and you destroyed one of our trains, and you ruined our trade relations with Appaloosa. So we will take in all the people that you saved because it's not their fault, and Silverbell. And you're allowed to still trade with Dissy, but you have to do it outside of the town. But you are never allowed back in New Appaloosa ever again.
Congratulations, hero!
Congratulations, yeah. That's, again, consequences, actions, consequences. Consequences of Little Pip's actions are that she's banned from the only friendly town she's ever known so far, which hits her pretty hard. Even though she didn't really like it there and definitely didn't want to live there because they were complicit with slave trading, but it was definitely like a punch to the gut for her to be told this sort of thing. She also steals the recipe for party time mentals from Silverbell.
Yep.
When no one's looking during the confusion, and this is where the story really starts like letting you know, hey, like she's like
she's got a problem.
She's got a problem. She is addicted. Yeah. They also find the rarity statue here in this chapter.
She finds the rarity statue and just ogles it for like 3
just
paragraphs.
just starts jerking the hell off to it. And then it's
Calamity's like, you want me to give you some alone time?
yes, I do. And then I'm not sure what the connecting thread here is, but at this point we run into Godna Grimfeathers.
The connecting thread is they're not allowed in New Appaloosa, so that they just decide to wander.
They just go somewhere else and they come across Godna Grimfeathers at not Shattered Hoof proper, but one of its outposts.
One of its outposts. We're entering the territory.
I think they figured out where Shattered Hoof was, and I think that her and Calamity were like, let's just keep fucking killing raiders. Let's just keep killing slavers at this point. So they attempt to make their way to Shattered Hoof. They come across Godna Grimfeathers, who stops them and introduces herself, and she's of course a mercenary with the Talon Company, which are all made up of griffins, hence the name.
You know, the Talon Mercenary Company from Fallout 3.
From Fallout 3. She is under contract with Red Eye, I believe. Or no, sorry, she's under contract with a Mr. Topaz, who is the ruler
of this outfit of the slavers.
Of the Shattered Hoof facility, which is a rock-breaking facility which is being operated by slave labor. She tells them that the guy who is running the day-to-day operations of Shattered Hoof is named Deadeyes, and she doesn't like him, and she wants him gone. Kind of. She would prefer him gone, but she's not quite really there to get... She's not really able to get there yet, so she's trying to get a way to get him like out of the picture without violating her contract with Mr. Topaz.
She states that the contract is above everything she does, even honor.
Yes, for Talon mercenaries, their contract is the most important thing, and no Talon would ever willingly violate their contract. So as long as she's under contract, she can't really do anything about the situation.
you murderous psychopath, we don't know you.
Yeah, but you can do so. And so she basically forces them at gunpoint to infiltrate Shattered Hoof and get Deadeyes' ledger is what she wants. She also takes Remedy essentially as a hostage in this situation because she's fucking useless for anything else. So.
She would kind of be a liability during this mission.
Yeah, well, she's like, I'm not going to take the Pegasus. You need that guy. We find out that Shattered Hoof was a prison facility.
For the Ministry of Morale.
For the Ministry of Morale prison facility for basically traitors with the state.
Pinky would re-educate people here.
Yeah, right, yeah. We found out that Sweetie Belle was here once, and she did a concert, I guess.
She performed here for morale.
For morale, yeah. She performed here for morale, and we learned that Deadeyes is a big Sweetie Belle fan. He has a lot of Sweetie Belle paraphernalia and a lot of her records and stuff. That's going to be important later. It's actually here that I think that she finds the rarity statue, which makes her magic a little bit stronger, because all these are sort of supposed to be like a stat boost, like the bobbleheads.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's pretty much where this chapter ends, which is sort of like setting up the action here. Chapter 11. What even happens this chapter? Little Pip does steal the ledger.
Chapter 11 is entirely set up for chapter 12.
Right. She steals the ledger and she overhears that Red Eyes... So there is going to be an attack by Red Eye's slaver forces. It's sort of like a hostile takeover. But Deadeyes is working with them. So his metric here is that he is basically planning to betray Godna. And by intentionally letting Red Eye's forces in, he's hoping that they will kill all of the Talon Company's forces, and then they will sort of unify, with Red Eye's rule.
What were they gonna do about the dragon?
They didn't know about the dragon, right? I mean, does Deadeyes even know that like there's a fucking dragon down there? Like, does he know that?
He does. Topaz calls him his lieutenant.
Yeah, but does he ever met the guy?
I don't think so.
Yeah, like does he know who like Topaz
He
even
was probably
is?
just a guy he talked to over the intercom.
Yeah, right. Like he probably doesn't fucking know. Um, so little Pip and Calamity get out of there. Um, and this becomes sort of a situation where it's like Deadeyes knows that little Pip is working for God, and he wants her to like betray, like to like double cross God. And God wants her. God knows that Deadeyes knows, and he wants
That's so
little Pip to
confusing
double.
for me.
Like everybody knows that everybody's trying to play a game here, and both sides are trying to use Little Pip as like the piece to like get a one up on the other.
Just like a
And
real
so
Fallout character.
yeah, so she can this feels very like a very like New Vegas sort of like open-ended like
A
sort of
very
thing. Like
make your choice and decide the end of the quest.
yeah, right. Like it's a real like you could do this, you can do that, you can do this random third thing. And so they concoct this plan to basically they end up deciding they want to side with God. Little Pip decides that she wants to side with God. She feels that God is a better person than Deadeyes is, and she also because she finds out that based on the ledger that that Deadeyes was the one who ordered the hit basically on Silverbell's family. So he is directly responsible for the horrible, traumatic thing that
Initially,
we just saw like yesterday.
when she was explaining the plan, initially Calamity was against it. He's like, it's just murder.
Yeah, yeah. Calamity pushes back. Velvet obviously pushes back on this. Uh, Calamity does too. Little Pip is like, I want to kill Deadeyes and then let Godna like take over here because I think she's not really a slaver. I mean, she's just here under contract. I think that she can make this place better. Like she asked God, like we don't see the results of the conversation, but like she asked Godna before like a cut, like, what would you do if you were in charge of Shattered Hoof? And she seemed to be satisfied with the answer. She's like, I think we need to cast our lot in, with Godna, and this is how we do it. And they're like, no, this is murder. Like, this is premeditated murder. I have no problem with killing slavers, but, like, I'm not really so much one for just, like, I don't really know exactly what Calamity's problem is here. Honestly, like, you do kill, like, if slavers. He's like, no, this is, like, assassination. This is murder.
And then she's like, but Deadeyes is in charge of the slavers that killed Silverbell's family. All right, I'm down for it.
Yeah, she drops that fucking bomb on them. She's like, this guy caused that shit to happen to Silverbell. And Calamity is like, okay, well, now this is justice. I said, okay. So, again, I'm not sure exactly what his problem was before because it's not like we didn't know that Deadeyes was a bad person before, but to him now this is exacting justice upon the wicked, and that's something that he's okay with. Velvet's not really super cool with it, but she ends up going along with the plan anyway because Little Pip essentially guilts her into being okay with it because of the Silverbell thing. She's like, do you want this to happen to more kids like Silverbell? We can stop this right now.
And I need you to put on this tight, form-fitting dress for me.
Now put on this sexy dress and go out there and shake your ass. Like, so that's the plan. So she goes back to Deadeyes and she tells Deadeyes, okay, I'm gonna kill Godna. Like
but I need you in the same room as her.
I need you in the same room because what we're gonna do, the plan is I'm gonna be a sniper. Like I think this is where she gets her sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put a bullet right like in front of you. Like I'm gonna like miss you, and then I'm gonna blow Godna's head off. So it'll look like the attempt was made on both of your lives, and then the attack will be blamed on Red Eyes, right? Because we all know that Red Eyes is coming to invade us tomorrow morning, right?
And the whole time, Velvet is gonna be singing and dancing.
Right, and so like, as the excuse for why we all are going to be in the same room together, in an area where I can easily assassinate you, I mean God, is that Velvet Remedy is going to put on a concert where she'll sing, we'll sing Sweetie Belle songs because I know you love fucking Sweetie Belle, and that's how we're going to get you here. And he's like, he agrees to this. He's like, okay, yes, because I want God dead, and I don't want my hands to be dirty for it. And so that's the plan. And then she goes back to God and she tells her the actual plan, which is that I'm going to kill Deadeyes and I'm going to put a fucking bullet, like, right in front of your face so it looks like I was trying to kill you too. And again, we'll blame it on Red Eyes, and then whatever happens after that happens. And then we get to the concert, and then Deadeyes is like, hey, buddy, so the plan is that you're going to kill God and not me, right? And she's like, yeah, of course. Totally. He's like, well, good. So just to make sure that's the plan, I have put a fucking bomb under the stage, and so if my head explodes, your friend will be exploded to death. And she's like, oh, fucking K. I didn't think you were going to do that. So that's fucking bad.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I didn't think that. So Little Pip's genius fucking plan here is to just do the plan exactly as it was, and then use telekinesis to fling Velvet Remedy out of the way before the bomb kills her.
She does it.
Which she does. It works. And Velvet Remedy's like, what the fuck?
Listen, there was a bomb.
I didn't really have time to tell you the plan.
You look hot in the dress, by the way.
Yeah, you look super hot, by the way. Are you... Like, I'm not gay. Just... Okay. We'll come back to that later. She's like, I'm not gay. I'm like, alright. I know that, but... Yeah, I was kind of hoping that it's like being in the wasteland would just make you...
I think by this point, Velvet does know Little Pip is gay. Just from the way
she does. I think she already knew, but like she's definitely like teasing her about it too. Which
like, there was a moment earlier like, hey Little Pip, would you want me to help me get ready? And it's like, and Little Pip just fucking imagines them taking a bath together.
It's kind of a dick thing for her to do when she knows that she's not going to reciprocate that because she's not gay. But we'll get to that later. She'll blow her ass out about it later.
Yeah.
So she'll get what's coming for her in a couple of chapters here.
Little Pip, I'm not gay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know that. So stop flirting with me about it. No. War breaks out after this, which is basically what we had in the plan. Godness forces and Deadeye's forces start fighting, and then Red Eye's forces show up early because, surprise, they weren't going to cut a deal with Deadeyes after all. They were always going to kill all of them. No one was ever getting out of this.
And in the middle of it, Little Pip's like, hey, you want to sneak down into the mines?
In the middle of this fucking big ass battle, Little Pip kills someone with important to
They had a thermal lance.
Little Pip gets caught by a thermal lance and gets a huge nasty scar that she won't heal, like stays with her forever.
Mm-hmm.
As a sort of, you give a character a scar to show that they've, hardened her in some kind of a way. So she gets a big scar on her side, I think.
Little Pip disarms and cripples the thermal lance user, and the thermal lance user is like, please don't kill me. And she's like, okay, steps over your body.
All right. Yeah, she's like, okay, man. Doesn't kill her. It's like the only time Little Pip ever uses a melee weapon, I think. She just like takes it out of their hands and just fucking cuts her goddamn legs off with it.
It's a moment where Little Pip is just, I still got a little bit of mercy left in me if they ask for it.
Yeah, she has at least the decency to not kill an unarmed pony.
Yeah. Who's
begging for their life, so a little bit there. So in the middle of this shit, she's like, we need to go, because they know that this Mr. Topaz guy exists. They know that Deadeyes takes his orders from this guy.
And we need to take him out.
They've never seen this guy. He's got to be here somewhere. And they also know that there's a big vault underneath the prison. And it's just like, I haven't seen this guy. He's not anywhere. I've been in every single fucking room of this entire building. He's got to be in the vault. That's the only thing that makes sense. So after they kill Deadeye, they make sure to grab the key from his fucking corpse, and they go down, they make their way down to the vault. They open the vault, and there is a fucking dragon in there.
Not fully grown. Not fully grown.
Not fully grown, as if they would know what a fully grown dragon looks like. That's just context for you, the viewer, since you would know what a fully grown dragon looks like as per the show. And this dragon is Mr. Topaz. And he...
The entire next chapter is them just killing this guy.
Oh yeah, the entire rest of chapter 12 is... This is a long chapter, because it's like the end of the arc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big dragon. He beats the fucking shit out of the both of them, pretty much. Well, no, Calamity's not there yet, so it's just Little Pip down there getting fucking blown up by a dragon.
She lures him to a bunch of turrets.
Yeah, she's getting burned to shit, and like her guns are not gonna harm the dragon. And she's like, oh god, what do I do? And then she comes to the idea, she's like, oh, there's turrets. There's like laser turrets, or magical energy, or whatever the fuck you call that shit.
Up in the prison complex.
The prison complex. And so she had already hacked them earlier. This is probably skip, but she had like gone around and like hacked the turrets previously. And so she manages to just barely not die enough to get the dragon in the range of the turrets, and the turrets just blast the fucking shit out of him. And then that's still not enough to kill him.
Still not enough.
And so Calamity swoops in heroically with a big fucking like plasma caster from a
made for power armor, by the way.
Yeah, and just blows a hole like through its stomach, and it finally dies. And the battle of Shattered Hoof has come to an end, with the Talon Company mercenaries and Little Pip and company being victorious. And also now everybody fucking knows that Little Pip's a dragon slayer.
Yeah, they know this now.
Yeah, because everybody saw her kill a dragon. And that's pretty much where this part ends.
She passes out. She literally passes out at the end.
She fucking passes out because she was literally like an inch from death. She's been like burned and slashed, and like all kinds of crazy shit happened. But they were able to win the battle, and nobody died. I mean, lots of people died, but they didn't die.
The people who matter didn't die.
People who matter didn't die. Deadeye's dead. Godness still alive. You know, everything's good. And that's the end of this first arc. There's a little bit of chapter 13 is the down, like the sort of like coming down from the battle, but it leads directly into the next arc, so we'll get into that later. This is, for all intents and purposes, the finale of the first part of the book.
We did it. The first arc of Fallout Equestria.
Wow, that's 2 hours to do a play-by-play of the book. Maybe we could have figured out a better way to do that, but that's fine.
And we added in our commentary to it as well.
Yeah, we had commentary to the play-by-play. I mean, we do play-by-plays of the episodes anyway, so I couldn't think of another way to like run through the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how we do episodes of the show anyways. We just do a play-by-play of the scenario of what's happening in the episode.
Add in our commentary.
Yeah, and adding commentary and stuff, yeah. Good stuff in these first 12 chapters.
It was really fun reading through this again. How was the audiobook, by the way?
It was great. I listened to the newest, apparently the KCAT approved audiobook. There are 2 versions of it you can find. One is called Wasteland Echoes, the other is called Voice of Little Pip. The Voice of Little Pip one is only the narration, and all the voices are done by just the actress, I guess, official actress for Little Pip. And the Wasteland Echoes version is more akin to an audio drama in which other characters are voiced by other actors.
Okay.
Which I suppose are also the official voice actors for the characters. I listened to the Wasteland Echoes version because I was curious to see what the characters would sound like in this KCAT approved version. It was great. It was good. It took a little getting used to on some of the character voices because I've listened to other audio versions of
Hmm.
this years in the past, and some of it was like just like not what like not like getting used to a new character's voice or like
How
a
you
new voice for the
envision them.
character. Yeah, I envision the character. It took me a little bit of time, honestly, to get used to Little Pip's voice in particular, and some of the ways the actress inflects certain sentences isn't the way that I remember them being inflected by other actors, and I'm like, that's not how you should inflect on that sentence, but that's not how that sentence is supposed to be said. But like, whatever.
Whatever.
I think it's fine. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good way to experience Fallout Equestria. I mean, if you want, any way is a good way really to experience Fallout Equestria. If you prefer to read the audiobook, to do the audiobook version, there's many hours of that for you to consume. If you just prefer to read the book, then you can just read the book. I mean, like I
Hmm.
said, I've read the book multiple times before, and so I thought this time I would uh, do the audio version just because it was new and I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to see what the character voices would be like, especially like a lot of those older ones didn't get past certain points of the book, and so I wanted to know like what what they would do for like like steel hooves and like homage and like you know the other companion character and like a bunch of other stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's like a lot of other places like never bothered to get there or whatever. Um, do you know what they did do in the audiobook version, at least with the one that has the character voices, is Watcher's voice is like it's not like a literal like text to speech filter, but it's kind of what they're meaning it to sound like.
Ooh.
So it's like very like robotic and very like post processed. And it took a while for me to get used to that because I wasn't used to Watcher. Like in prior versions of the audiobook and like in my head, I always thought that Watcher was just speaking
Through a
normally. Like you
microphone.
just yeah, just like Watcher's normal speaking voice. I never really I never really like contextualized that I suppose this was the intended version of like this is intended for how Watcher's supposed to sound, but that it's coming through as like almost like a text to speech sort of. I mean, it's like it is a voice actor, like it sounds like it's a text to speech program
Hmm.
sort of a thing, and I didn't realize that that's I assume based on the fact that this is like the official audiobook that is the intention of what Watcher is supposed to sound like, but I never realized that. It took a little bit of
That's kind of funny. Like, just a decade later, the author is like, "Yeah, this is how this character actually sounds."
yeah, this is how this character is actually supposed to sound. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, like that's cool. I do. Let me make sure that I'm correct in saying that this is the like voice and echoes builds on the previous little voice of Little Pip. Apparently, so voice of Little Pip version apparently was from 2020.
Hmm.
Um, and then this new version was released like sometime last year. So I didn't even know that
Oh,
that voice of
wow.
Little Pip version is like that old or whatever. But I swear to Christ that I read like on their official thing that this is okay. Yeah, it says Fallout Equestria audiobook, a complete professionally voiced and unabridged audiobook of KCAT's Fallout Equestria, created with permission from the author. Okay, so I don't know if that like I mean it's KCAT approved. Well, I don't know if that means that KCAT did
Oversaw
anything other
it?
than just say, yeah. I don't know if KCAT was involved. It doesn't sound like she was involved in the production at all, but unless I have a reason to believe otherwise, I would assume that this is meant to be like this is author approved. I don't believe that I've ever heard of any other version of the audiobook being KCAT approved. I don't know if that means that nobody else ever bothered to ask or like what that means or like whatever.
Hmm.
I will say, as per the request of the which is KCAT, as per the request of KCAT, this entire project is non for profit. All money from our original crowdfunding campaign, not used in the making of the audiobook, is being donated to the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Well, that's cool.
That's cool.
So this was an entirely not for profit project, other than any overhead costs for actually conducting the business here. Also, what made me want, I'm reading this again, what made me want to listened to the Wasteland Echoes version, is that Jesse Nowaking reprises his role as Vinyl Scratch or as
Okay.
DJ Pony in this, who of course legendary, old school, the voice of Vinyl Scratch to myself and many others,
Hmm.
reprises his role as the character, well, as this version of the character in this version of the audiobook, which is pretty fucking cool because I don't think he's done anything pony related in probably a fucking decade.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
But that was cool to me. So I haven't gotten to hearing him yet. But I assume I will soon. I'm sure I will soon. We also I didn't talk about it because when I realized it was a little too close to something else I was talking about, and I didn't want people to get a spoiler by association. But there are several chapters several points in these chapters where they are like introducing who DJ Pony is, and like that she's the DJ for the radio station that is broadcast out of Ten Pony Tower. There's lots of speculation as to who exactly she is, if she was related to the original Vinyl Scratch, if she is the original Vinyl Scratch from before the war. That's something that'll be revealed in the next section of the book when they actually are in Ten Pony Tower. But they like lay those seeds very early, like in those like first couple of chapters, like in the New Appaloosa chapters, like
They're
this is a
like
character that you will like learn more about later, or like you hope you'll learn more about later.
there's a lot of points in like, yeah, Tin Pony Tower is going to be the next place the party goes to.
Yeah, that'll be established in chapter 13, which is the very next chapter here that they've determined that they want to go to Manhattan and thusly Ten Pony Tower, because it seems well. So they end their business in Shattered Hoof, and Little Pip and Calamity are still dead set on their crusade against the slavers. And so basically the next biggest operation would be to do Red Eyes himself, which is in Manhattan, I believe, the headquarters of the situation. But they don't know how to get there. They don't know anything about it. And so Little Pip determines, well, we should go to Ten Pony Tower and talk to DJ Pony, because people tell me that she seems to know everything, and so maybe she could tell us like what to do next. And so that's where our next destination, our next intended destination, is Ten Pony Tower, so that we can meet the illustrious DJ herself.
Look forward to that, everybody.
Oh no, Manhattan is where Ten Pony Tower is. Where the fuck is Red Eye's base of operations?
Canterlot, I think.
No, Canterlot is like uninhabitable,
Yeah.
right? Because it's got the pink mist or whatever that we'll talk
Oh wait,
about.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, where the fuck is his shit at? I don't fucking goddamn remember.
Goes to the Followed Equestria wiki page.
That's like where I am on right now. I'm trying to like, Red Eyes.
Hey, Grand Blast, welcome back.
Hey, welcome back, buddy. It was going good. It was very. It's Philadelphia.
Okay.
Philadelphia is his base of operations, which is way fucking far away.
I keep forgetting that town exists because it's always fucking Manhattan they go to in the show, never Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't think Philadelphia was even canon in the show when this was written, so maybe there was like name drop by like offhandedly in like season 1 somewhere. I don't know. That's why we're going to places like fucking Appaloosa, because the amount of like stuff that we had to draw on again is very low. Just from season 1, because again, this book was completed and written entirely before season 2 aired.
It's so crazy.
It's so fucked up. I mean, like I said, this book would have been completely different if it had started being written just even a little bit later down the line, But that is more or less everything. That's the rundown of the chapters. Again, I think this was very great. I think this is a great book. Oh yeah, Philadelphia was mentioned in the Paris Bribes episodes. That's fucking right. See, there you go. That's why it's there.
That's why it's there.
These are like the least good chapters of the book. Not like because they're bad, but just because it gets better from
It
here. Like it's the
gets
satisfaction.
this starting arc is strong. It just gets better because K-Cat gets into a groove of writing.
Oh yeah, KCAT is gonna like all these next chapters are really be banging shit out because like in this next arc, like we've been saying, like lots of interpersonal conflict resolution between Little Pip, Velvet Remedy, Calamity, a lot of stuff like that. This is also where we start getting lots of these memory orbs, and like lots of we learn a lot more about what Equestria was like during the war, which again isn't necessarily that interesting in the Fallout perspective, but because we know as fans of My Little Pony what what the land of Equestria was like before the war, i.e., season 1 of the show. Now we get to learn how things got so like how things were like during the war, like how things went from you know a goddamn My Little Pony to fucking Fallout.
We kind of
And then,
skipped over the fact that Diamond Tiara was like the
oh
overseer of the
yeah, I
prison, and then
totally
she
forgot.
killed herself.
She did super duper kill herself. Yeah, yeah, right. There was a series of audio logs that Little Bit came across while she was exploring Shattered Hoof, detailing that Diamond Tiara was the warden of Shattered Hoof during the final days of the war. Some of her some of those logs are basically as the bombs were going off, or like the immediate aftermath of the bombs going off. So there was nobody out there, everything's cut off.
And the prison
She,
went into lockdown.
the prison went into lockdown, yeah, because she was like anxiously debating with herself whether or not she should let the prisoners out and like go to like just let them out of the prison and fend for themselves. She took too long. The prison went into lockdown because it was cut off from the network, and then she was trapped in there with them, and ultimately decided to kill herself rather than, let them do whatever the hell they were gonna do to her.
I was reading that one. K-Cat, do you just hate Diamond Tiara?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This is season
Silver
1
Spoon?
Tiara, so
Is Silver Spoon in this book at all? I
they
think she's mentioned in these
mention her.
audio. They mention her. I don't think we hear about her again, like at all. So
Fucking
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's just like I think we just wanted to put a named character there just so you like know like oh it's Diamond Tiara, like okay, yeah. Brayburn. Fucking Brayburn, whatever, like
All
Griffin.
all the fucking mid-season named characters.
Yeah, like some Griffins because Griffins exists. Like I don't think Buffalo ever turn up. That's probably for the best.
Because I don't
Like
think K-Cat was writing this when Over a Barrel aired or yet or something.
yeah, Brayburn's in like the second chapter.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I probably was like, what are we gonna do with the? I think entering another. Like, that episode sucks already
Yeah.
on its own, but I think we try to contextualize that episode within the setting that we've constructed here. It's like, okay, well, we're having a war with, an enemy nation. It's like we don't have time in this to deal with like Buffalo land dispute stuff. Like we're just gonna. That doesn't matter, man. That episode sucked and it should be like eradicated from canon anyway, because why are there so parts of Equestria are in Buffalo land? Like what? For all intents and purposes, that episode was completely extracted from canon because
They
Buffalo
never
never
because
mentioned it.
they never mentioned it ever again.
Buffalo are never mentioned ever again, and the implication, even like later in the first season of the show, with like the founding of Equestria, doesn't make any sense in the context of like, but there are also buffalo on this continent.
Don't worry
What?
about it.
Because like pretty much every other like depiction of Equestria and like later seasons depicts that ponies are the only race that live in this continent, or like this area, and that this area was not like no one was living here when they got here. Like this area was unclaimed or whatever, and that kind of runs counter to the buffalo thing. Or worse, it paints the idea that the buffalo were like legitimately wrong, which is not good. So that's fine. We got yaks anyway. We don't need buffalo.
We got
Yaks are way
yaks
cooler.
because they have their own country already in the north.
Well, that used to be our ancestral homeland, you know.
Yeah, it used to be then they took it over. Now it's theirs.
Well, we left, so
Yeah.
you know. Good book, good chapters. Excited for more. I'll have to find out like where the next logical like stopping point of this shit is. Probably whenever the Ten Pony Tower arc ends.
Well, I imagine it's somewhere in like the 20s or 30s.
It's. I'm just looking at this. I think it's gonna probably be around chapter 20. Let's see, 19. Oh no, I'm like just like because I think chapter 19 or chapter 20 is chapter 20 is when the Party Time Mentals storyline is concluded.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of chapter 20 is when the Watcher identity reveal is, and I feel like that's leading directly into like the Enclave arc.
Okay, that could chapter 20 could be the next big arc we cover.
Maybe like each. We'll have to like. I'll have to like figure it out like later. I mean, we have
until the end of season 3.
Yeah, before we get into the fandom segment here, which we still have to get through. After season, well, we could do that next time.
We can make the fandom segment like really short if you want. Just like pick and choose like 3 topics or 2.
Yeah, we can run through this super quick, and if there's anything we feel like needs more time, we can just talk about it at the start of season 3. Because this went on a little longer, I think, than we intended. After season 3 is conducted, we'll have 3 bonus episodes.
The next follow-up bit, 4? Equestria Girls.
The next follow-up bit, Equestria Girls in the comics.
Equestria Girls in the comics, correct.
First arc of the comic, the first like 13 issues of the comics or whatever.
Yes.
So we'll have like 3 bonus episodes, which means that we can split the fandom segment into 3 parts instead of doing 6 months of that shit all at once.
Hey everybody, just for clarity's sake, V and I went over 6 months of the season 2 to season 3 hiatus.
Yeah, which is not the sexiest idea in the whole world. Let me just run through quick. May of 2012, the BronyCon documentary was fully funded on Kickstarter.
I saw that.
Here,
started by John Delancey himself.
Yeah, have you ever watched that?
I have never watched the Brony documentary.
Maybe we should watch that like at some point for like another bonus episode.
Yeah, sure. I'm down for that.
I'm sure it's still. Here is. I'm gonna get a really awesome picture for you to put up.
Sure.
May of 2012, May 24th, 2012.
Oh!
On the unofficial bootleg Chinese Spike plushie on eBay.
I hate looking at them.
I had this. I had this exact. Yeah, I had this. It's exactly how I remember it, but worse.
Oh, what? What the fuck is up with his head frills?
Yeah. Yeah. We got confirmation that Derpy will be getting a toy in the hair, like the little hair line.
Mm-hmm.
We also got a confirmation she'll be getting one of those big vinyls, which I believe was originally a Comic-Con exclusive sort of thing.
Yeah, she is going to be the 2013 Comic-Con exclusive.
There would be a version that would be released in stores after, like, a while after that, because I did own one of those. A couple of like not blind bags, like the miniatures, like blind bags, but they're not blind. Mm-hmm. There's one that features Big Mac, Applejack, and Granny Smith. There's one with Dash, Gilda, and it just says Wonderbolt Pony. I'm pretty sure I guess that's supposed to be Spitfire. And there's one with Shining Armor and Princess Cadence and Twilight Sparkle. Cadence is like way too pink.
May 26, 2012, we get the very first white Celestia toy.
Thank God, right?
Let me get that on screen.
Let's see, BronyCon is the most fundamental fucking...
It was a Toys R Us exclusive.
That's right. there is intermittently a lot of small updates about Fighting is Magic over these 6 months.
Oh, I saw those. It's so sad.
Um, Small updates. There was a showcase at Evo. There's some trailers, some music. There was a leak, which I forgot
The
about.
leak that ruined their whole career.
A leak that ruined everything. Yeah. I mean, they probably would have gotten C&D eventually anyway, but there was a leak, yeah, of a playable build, which was unfortunate.
Just
I can't believe that it was like at Evo.
yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, they went to Evo. Someone got their hands on the build, probably put it in a fucking USB from the computer setup, and just leaked
And
it
leaked it,
online.
I just leaked it online because we fucking hate you. There's also like over these 6 months, there were several pony conventions. BronyCon, the second or third BronyCon occurred. There were lots and lots and lots of guest announcements for all of these cons. Everfree Northwest, BronyCon,
All the
some
voice
other
actors were
crap.
busy around this time.
I know they were making the rounds. I mean, pretty much every voice actress in the show showed up at least one of these, if not multiple. Lauren Faust was at some of them. A lot of the writers, storyboarders. John Delancey was at one or two of them. Big convention circuit for everybody. I mean, the pony convention circuit really blew up. You know, in 2012.
Again, height of the show.
Height of the show, yeah. Pony Buru, June the 17th, 2012. Pony Buru shuts down.
And yeah, I remember. I remember this, that they shut down, and all of their stuff that got offloaded onto Derpy Burrow.
Yep, Derpy Buru was. Well, to be fair, to be more accurate, Pony Buru will shut down 2 months from now in August of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Sister site Derpy Buru will carry its torch going forward, although it did have some problems initially regarding the huge influx of traffic that it was receiving because of this, and basically it crashed a bunch. And as of a couple of days later, Derpy Buru was stabilized, and it is still there to this very day.
It's still there to this very day.
To this very day. The most recent thing on Derpy Buru was posted. Is there a timestamp on this? 4 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's still very active on here. Let me log in and see if there's anything more recent that was like sexy.
You're gonna see porn. I'm just telling you that.
I am. Yeah, that's why I logged in. Yeah. Still 4 minutes ago. So Derpy Brewer's still active. We got some Toy Wiz pictures of the next wave of the figures, which includes the big white Celestia, the slightly less big Nightmare Moon, and the Trixie and Vinyl Scratch ones, and the glow-in-the-dark Zakora, which would be $5 more expensive than everybody else, by the way.
Oh, because she glowed in the dark. That's why.
Yeah. On June 26, 2012, Amy Keating Rogers revealed some cut content from Mystery on the whatever Express. Mystery on the Mystery Express.
Oh yeah, there's supposed to be an AJ scene.
There was supposed to be a scene where AJ also ate the cake or whatever. They cut it for time, which is funny because we praised Applejack in that episode for not doing anything wrong. It's because it got cut for time. But there was a whole thing, and they had to cut that out because it wasn't enough time. New toy set with the train. That's not really relevant. Ponies the Anthology 2 was released on July 1st, 2012. They did these for a while. Well, a couple of years they did these.
Ponies the Anthology.
You probably saw a lot of these posts about the fucking My Little Pony, like not like card game, but like just cards, collectible like trading cards. There is one that has DJ Pony and Octavia in it, which is the first, I suppose, canon, the first official like nod to their relationship in fandom. There's also one that has Mayor Mare and Doctor Hooves, who is given the name Time Turner in this card. I don't know what the
That's not
fuck
his
they're
name.
like
That's not his
doing with
name.
each other,
That's not his name.
but that's he's there and his name is Time Turner. That's not his name. Um, blah blah blah. On July the 9th, 2012, Super Pony Beats Diamond Dogs was released. That's a story to me.
God, it is that again. Good song.
We Love Fine acknowledges that his name is Dr. Hooves like a week later, by the way. They call him
Okay,
that.
yeah.
July 12th, 2012, the My Little Pony comic series is announced at San Diego Comic-Con. We'll get a lot of news about this in the next couple of months, but this is the official announcement of the comic books that will be handled by IDW on behalf of Hasbro. There were two animated promos for Double Rainboom that came out in these months, and there was also a panel at BronyCon for that.
Wild.
We get a couple of short. We get a couple of teasers for season 3. I think they're just songs for season, like some of the Crystal songs, season 3 at San Diego Comic Con. We get a little bit more information about the comics, but nothing crazy yet. Derpy Toy we already talked about. On July the 26th, 2012, the very first iteration of the paper hardback of Fallout Equestria was released.
That's
The very original edition. Very, very, very original
6
edition.
months after finishing the story, Kick-Ass like, yeah, I got a hardback coming out.
Yeah, Cake had anything to do with this.
I imagine they had to give her money.
I fucking would hope so.
Because remember, she got this story paid for her college.
Oh yeah, that's right. So she must have gotten money for something. I don't know. The San Diego Comic Con, or it wasn't San Diego Comic Con, it was after San Diego Comic Con. The official season 2 poster was revealed around early July or early August, I believe, which is the season 1 poster we saw at San Diego Comic Con in 2011. It is the compilation of every single character who was on screen, more or less every single character who was on screen in season 2, in the big compiling that we got for season 1, which has everybody on it here in season 2, including 2 versions of Twilight, including a second Twilight Sparkle with the time travel attire on, standing next to Dr. Hooves.
Yeah, it's a funny little nod.
It's a funny little nod, yeah. Lyra's. This is a lot more fandom focused, I think. There's a lot more like little jokes about stuff that the fandom has latched down to. Lyra's like dead set in the middle of the fucking frame for some reason. Vinyl and Octavia are once again touching each other because again they have a fandom association with each other. All kinds of shit like that. Mysterious Mare-Dwell is here.
Never seen again.
Derpy's on this. Never seen again. Missing since 2012. This is also, in addition to this, is when we got the printed version of the official equestrian map that we always reference.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that came out after season 2 in 2012. There's also some of these other ones you've probably seen. There was the season 2, the Chaos is Magic version of the poster, which had all the antagonist characters in it, including Nightmare Moon. And there was also one for the Royal Wedding, which had like all the characters associated with that, except for Chrysalis. So these are all super famous, like, fan images. August 24th, 2012, that was my birthday.
Yay.
On this day, the Fallout 2 Little Pip mod was released.
Oh
which
my!
is the mod for Fallout 2 that replaces your player character with a 3D model of Little Pip.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. They only ever made this for Fallout 2 for some reason. I do not fucking know why, because there is very little influence from Fallout 2 and Fallout Equestria. Like, very little.
There's barely
Basically
any.
None. It's about 70% Fallout 1 and like 30% Fallout 3. And then like also like a lot of original stuff too, but like White Celestia, we said that already. Season 3, we're starting to get little bits of things about Season 3 here. Blah 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 blah. Shout Factory is set to release for $25 the season 1 full set on DVD, which will be coming out later in November. Blah,
Everything's
blah, blah,
happening in
blah,
November. The
blah.
comics, the new season, the
Yeah,
DVD.
big stuff coming out. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. What does that say? Hold on. What is this? Tabitha St. Germain, the voice actress, has a full printed copy of Fallout Equestria.
What?
Tabitha St. Germain has a full printed copy of Fallout. Like, take a look.
Just
Hold
the,
on.
the knowledge that Tabitha St. Germain has read Fallout Equestria.
I hope she liked it.
I hope she liked it. That's crazy.
I hope she liked it. It's not relevant. Possible report from September 21st, 2012. Possible Friendship is Magic movie on the horizon.
That's gonna take a few years, friend.
Yeah, so on Top Draw Animation, which is one of the studios that works on the show, there's a section labeled My Little Pony DVD, which is most likely a placeholder name.
Do you think this was for?
like-
Do you think this was for Equestria Girls? Because that wasn't the theatrical release.
It had to have been for Equestria Girls. There's no way that this was regarding the My Little Pony the movie, because that wouldn't even start production for several years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's no 66. It's saying it's 66 minutes long. That's probably about how long Equestria Girls was. Let me see.
First Equestria Girls leak, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Equestria Girls is 72 minutes long, so not quite. This also could have been just a like DVD like release for a selection of episodes. I'm not sure where this exactly goes, but at this point, it's not totally like off the table to assume that we could get a theatrical movie, because, like, duh, this shit's on fire.
This shit is making Hasbro bank.
October the 1st, 2012, finally we get a release window for Season 3. Season 3 of My Little Pony Friendship Magic will air this November on the Hub Television Network.
It's crazy we had to wait this long to find out when it aired.
It's long to find out when it was going to goddamn air. The BronyCon documentary will have a pre-release screening November the 4th at Equestria LA before it's released to the public. I'm sure that happens. The My Little Pony issue 1 for the comics has 100,000 pre-orders before it's even on shelves yet.
This shit outsold Astonishing X-Men.
That shit was outselling Astonishing X-Men. Some information that we get from clips from a panel at New York Comic Con. We get the name of King Somber before we see him. We get confirmation that Discord will be in Season 3. Blah 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 blah. Pretty much nothing else relevant than that. So we know about Somber. Bunch of fucking posting about the goddamn Game Loft My Little Pony game.
Yeah, the mobile game that's still going. Build Your Town.
"23 days away from the premiere of the season, we get the confirmation that the season is 23 days away. On fucking October the 18th, 2012, we get confirmation from Entertainment Weekly that November 10th, 2012 at 10 a.m. is when the new season will start airing. Less than a month
away.
before the fucking show starts is when we find out when the show starts, which seems fucking insane.
They were busy keeping Equestria Girls under wraps.
Yeah, probably, definitely. After this, there's a couple of synopsises we get from various sources that are like naming various episodes. Nothing really crazy spoiler-wise here. There's some comment from Hasbro or from about why So there's a comment that that people write into from a Hasbro like stockholders conference or whatever,
Hmm.
about production costs and things like that. About like he specifically mentions like seasons being 13 episodes or 26 episodes regarding like things of like basically the point that this guy's making is that if you have a successful TV show, you can produce less episodes.
Oh
I don't
no.
really understand where he's going at. And so the implication, from the implication that you're reading this is because we already know that season 3 is only 13 episodes long, is okay, Hasbro is pulling back because the show is successful, which again doesn't make any fucking sense. That is not why that happened. That is again because that some of that budget was being allocated to the Equestria, like allocation was made to Equestria Girls. That's the actual
Sadly,
reason why that
every
happened.
other animation company picked this up.
Yeah, right. Well, also like this never happens ever again
Yep.
in the entire show. We also get confirmation in a DHX investors relation document that season 4 has already been greenlit ahead of season 3's release.
What? It's crazy.
It looks like, yeah, okay, so there was breakdown for major projects over $10 million. DHX Vancouver $1.6 million for My Little Pony seasons 2 through 4. So, dude, from this investors document, we know that season 4 is already like contractually obligated, basically.
Damn, we knew about season 4 like over a year beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, so that's what I was saying here. This isn't a complete 100% confirmation, but I mean, it literally says seasons 2 through 4, so I don't see how that's not a like legitimate confirmation that season 4
Hmm.
will be created. You know, last thing I have November the 7th, 2012, just a few days before season 3 starts. The BronyCon documentary was officially renamed to Bronies, the extremely unexpected adult fans of My Little Pony. Not sure why they renamed it. Like, I mean, I guess because the scope of it went beyond just BronyCon, but like
Hmm.
they did rename it there, like at the last minute, basically. That's everything I have. I also didn't look into anything on modern day this time.
Uh, that's what
We'll
I'm
just
gonna
hit that
do.
next
We're
time.
gonna do the modern day stuff, and then we're just probably gonna wrap up for the evening.
All right, let's get it on.
Modern day stuff. The comic Kickstarter for the hardcover collection of the comic, My Little Pony Comics, has been completely funded. Good on them.
Oh, great.
Still going if you want it. Overwatch is gonna do a collab with My Little Pony at some point.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Fucking sure. Why not?
Ballpark me. What skin do you want Winston to have?
Uh, Big Mac.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. No, Big Mac will probably go to Reinhardt.
Yeah, probably. Winston. He should be Spike. Winston should be Spike.
It should be Spike.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh. Alright, let's see, moving on. Uh... Brony Expo has announced their dates. March 26th through 28th, 2027 in San Jose, California. Go there if you're near, if you're a Brony and you're in San Jose.
Is that the new con that we talked about?
I believe so.
Yeah.
UK
Oh.
PonyCon comes back.
UK PonyCon.
Yep, April 18th at 6 p.m.
All right. Well, that's WrestleMania weekend, so I can't go.
Sad. Wait, you would fly all the way to UK for PonyCon?
Yeah, but I can't because it's WrestleMania.
Yeah, damn. Let's see what else. New line of Funkos.
Funkos.
Yeah, let me get those for you.
Oh no, I don't want to see that.
It's not the shitty ones. It's like the actual articulated figures.
What? Oh, these look fine. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
these
these
are
look
fine.
pretty good.
There's
I like
also
these.
oh, right, to the fucking blind box ones. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Look at Rarity's big ass head.
Big ass fucking head, yeah, for sure. That's good. Fucking Chrysalis being in there. That's awesome.
I would love to have the Chrysalis one actually.
Yeah, that looks pretty fun.
And I guess the
Oh,
chase
look.
ones are the translucent Twilight and the half translucent Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, what is she like half trans? Is that like is that like rendered wrong?
I don't know.
If I was gonna get a Chrysalis figure, I'd get that fucking super expensive, sexy one.
Oh yeah, the human one.
Yeah, it's just really expensive though.
It's like $200 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
The very last thing I have, fucking the My Little Pony mobile game. It added the Gravity Fall twins.
Yeah, what the fuck? They're just doing whatever over there, man.
They added
Nobody's-
Maybell and Maybell's twin brother.
They didn't even give him a name?
They didn't even give him a fucking name.
What? Man, fuck that guy, I guess. What the hell? Did they had no idea that this shit would still be going on like fucking goddamn over 10 years later, and they're just running out of shit to do. Like how is this game still going?
I guess it just has a big enough fucking player base to keep going.
Like end of service. Where is the end of service?
Every single other My Little Pony mobile game has died. Not this one.
I mean, other real games have had end of service before this shit.
I guess town builders are a really popular genre I've never conceived of.
I guess I played that game when it came out for like a week, probably. Yeah.
Irie, welcome to the end of the podcast. You caught us just at the end.
Welcome to the end of the podcast, motherfucker. Do you know what actually was super bothering me while I was going through all this stuff? And I can't remember. It's like I collected copies of the My Little Pony comic, like I said, for the first couple of issues. But I don't remember where I got them from. Like I don't remember how I was buying them or where I was buying them from.
Did you pick them up from like your local comic shop?
But I don't ever really recall going to a comic shop.
Huh.
Like I don't know where I was buying these from.
Did you
I
order
can't
them
remember.
online?
Maybe I was ordering them online. Yeah, maybe I was. I can't remember. I literally cannot remember at all. There's a very scant few that I bought at conventions. But I don't know where I was getting the majority of them. I have no idea. I don't know at all. Like, I cannot. It's really weird that I can't remember at all. Like where I was getting this. It's super weird. It's like, where did these come from? I wish I still had them too.
They just manifested in your home. You don't even have them
Yeah,
anymore.
No, I don't have them anymore. I sold all of them, unfortunately. I'd love to get like a copy of I don't want that big expensive paper, like that big expensive thing. I just like a volume 1 or something.
You could definitely score a paperback like graphic novel.
Yeah, they're like out of print though, so you'd have to go like secondhand market and like try your luck on that kind of stuff. And that's such a pain in the ass.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ugh. Got any closing statements?
Yeah. This took forever. I love Fallout questions. Fallout questions fucking awesome. I love Fallout Equestria.
Oh, you sound tired, hon.
No, you know what though? We are gonna have to 2 weeks from now is
2 weekends from now is WrestleMania, so I won't be available.
Yeah, totally. That's fine. We can push it back. It's fine.
We'll just have to push it back a week, but then we'll finally be starting season 3 with the. What did we decide that we're just gonna do the?
We settled on our normal 3 episode thing, and then for the finale, we're gonna do 4 episodes.
Right. Yeah, that's gonna be a big long one. But that's fine because we won't have to do a fandom segment for that one as long because we'll just break it up for all the other shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds right. So next time we'll be back with Crystal Empire Part 1 and Part 2, and I forget what the 3rd episode of Season 3 is.
Too Many Pinkies.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Fucking starting off strong.
Fucking 3 to 4 weeks from now we'll hit that.
Hey man, do you remember what's in Too Many Pinkies that everybody should be really excited about?
Oh yeah.
This.
Yeah. Do you want to? Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. This
doing
episode, Too Many Pinkies has so much crazy animation in it. No, I'm not doing anything crazy this week.
Okay.
WrestleMania's next weekend. So
Hey everybody, we got Strive 2.0 this Thursday and WrestleMania next
we got
week.
Strive 2.0 this Tuesday. Actually, I am streaming that with Ryan because
Hell
he
yeah.
demanded that I do it because Jameis's character.
All right.
He demanded. He insisted upon it. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. We have Invincible versus Beta this week.
That's right. Yeah, Invincible versus Beta this week as well. Fuck.
Yeah, so actually we got a lot going on, like fighting games. We got a lot of fighting game shit going on this week.
Nice.
All right.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye. All right, hon.